I have to hit the button. Oh, I forgot to mute you, because the game's gonna start beeping, booping at me twice, and that's gonna be a lot more annoying. Well, we'll have time to discuss, things, because we might be here for a bit. And I see the game, so it looks like we're starting. Might as well intro this a little bit. Hello everybody, and welcome back to Undertale, Genocidal Bastard Edition, episode 3. We are right at the end after Sans. I've done a little practicing off screen, and that's all I'm gonna say, and, because I don't want to promise anything too much. And as usual, my co-commentator is here, Cheddar, in the background. I think we're about on... From last episode, I think we're on about attempt number 15 or 16. We've run out of, numbers that Sans is going to remind us of. So, ready or not, let's just get this thing fired up. My goal is to... I got a couple ideas in mind. I'm gonna try and not need to heal for the first 4 rounds.
Hello, Sans.
It's kind of my game plan for the first part, and then I'm just gonna try and use my, slowly depleting health for getting me through the first half. And we'll see. And we'll just see how it goes. That is not what I want. Well, you can't count past, like, I don't remember when he ran out of numbers, like 12.
I don't recall.
Like, you literally started losing count. That's what the joke was at number 8. I'm gonna move my cursor at some point, probably when we get to the second half. Actually, I can just do it now. I feel like he had a good zinger when it was at 11. Lucky me that you ran out of attack right when I needed you to. And could you please stop shaking on me? It's making it very confusing. Need to shake my hand. Okay, perfect. We had the bone hallway. That was not a good run of that attack, but I think it's either the next attack or we're done already. It is the next one. Okay, it has to be this one.
You're literally at 1.
Yeah. Well, I got what I wanted already because I just have to make it to the end. I don't need all of my healing items, just need to get to the end, so if I can burn through what I need, but still have 1 remaining, then that's what I'm looking for. Well, yeah, I'm sure you've finished the game at this point, Sans. Okay, my brain's remembering this should be the laser attack. Okay, perfect. Ah, god damn it. I'm getting inside my head too much again.
I don't know. I don't worry about getting hit once.
Okay, this is gonna be my opportunity to heal, but I don't think I'm gonna need it. Because you, Sans, do this attack twice in a row. The one thing that you keep consistent is this attack, right? Like, number 3 or 4 in the second half for some reason. Okay, here's your big guns. Literally. Ah, god damn it. Got edged out a little bit. Oop. Ah. Sometimes you are a real bastard on which attacks you use, Sans.
Why the hell pie?
Why the hell did I click? No, I'm not eating my pie yet. I need that for later.
Pretty sure the fight's over.
I thought he says it twice.
Does he?
Yeah, I think he says it twice, and then I can use it after his next attack. And then hopefully I don't get burned too hard on trying to dodge that. Okay. You're gonna do his, you're gonna use your big attack, which means I need to heal up to full now and try to survive his next attack, but I don't know if your penultimate attack is the next attack or I need to do another round.
We'll find out here in a second.
Okay, I need to do another round of lasers. Okay, we're good. Okay, another round of this.
Okay, survive this and I'll show you my special attack you just said.
Okay, made it through that.
Alright, fight's won. We won the fight. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, we need to dodge this still. I forgot about this part.
Okay, ran into the laser wall, did not want to do that.
I thought the tunnel was the end.
Okay, I made it. Yes.
Yeah, you won. Fight's over.
Got
we
it.
won. This part can't kill you, even though I kind of wish it could. But that's the sadist in me, because I would never play this fight to begin with. So wanting this to kill other people.
You promised me that his last attack wasn't a joke, so now we're finally gonna see it. Whatever his special attack actually is.
To.
I guess I am.
Yep. That's right. It's literally nothing.
You lied to me!
No, I was referring to the previous attack when I said that attack's not a joke. And it's not gonna be anything either. You get it? I know I can't beat ya. one of your turns, you're just gonna kill me. So,
How about I force you to blink? How about I annoy you to death?
I've decided. Pretty sure you slow yourself down by doing this, Jeff. It's not gonna be your turn ever. I'm just gonna keep having my turn until you give up.
Well, I guess this will be a perfect time to do some topics.
Even if it means we have to stand
we have
here
infinite
until
time.
the end of time.
Don't worry, Sans. We do have a backup plan. I didn't know how short this was gonna be, so we have our next LP planned. And I got everything prepped for it. I can't make you blink anymore, goddammit. Yes,
I mean,
I
you can if you move to the left, but you'll get bored here. I believe this takes like it's either 2 minutes or 5 minutes, but I don't remember. Oh, we won't be able to continue the fight for a while, as Sans tries to convince you to quit the game.
Well, I think this is perfect timing. One of the topics I wanted to bring up was I wanted to pitch a couple of more projects to you.
I know your type. You're very determined, aren't you?
Not really, I just wanted the chance to have some blank space to talk.
You'll never give up, even if there's absolutely no benefit to persevering whatsoever. If I can make that clear. No matter what, you'll just keep going. Not out of your desire for good or evil, but just because you think you can. And because you can, you have to.
You gonna do any more text, Sans, Mr.
Probably.
Sweaty? I'll give you... Okay, never
But
mind.
now you've reached the end. There is nothing left for you now. So, in my personal opinion, the most determined thing you can do here is to, completely give up.
Papyrus shows up literally after it's over.
And do literally anything else.
Papyrus, you died! Go away. He's gonna blink at us very slowly. Okay.
Yeah, we're getting close to being able to end this.
Sans, I'm gonna give you 20 seconds. Papyrus, you couldn't stop us at all. We killed you in one hit. And you took like 60,000 damage.
Oh, you can't do it yet, Jeff. Now we have to wait. I will tell you when, but now we have to wait for him to close his eyes again.
Perfect. So my idea was, you remember that whole pile of FMV games that we did a while ago?
Yes.
I was thinking if you were, like I said, I'm pitching this to you. If you'd want to do a bunch of FMV first-person shooters or light gun games.
Oh, like arcade light gun games?
Yeah, I think I could find another pile of them, and then we could do that as an idea.
That is something we could do. Which ones would we do?
Time
Crisis? We're gonna do Time Crisis? We're gonna do... Okay, now you can, Jeff. Move to the left.
I was thinking... trying to find something funnier. I don't know if I want to do something serious.
Not the big ones. Okay, so not the big serious ones that I know of, like Time Crisis. And,
I mean, I could put them on the
Dead.
list because I mean, we did do the whole gamut of Dragon's Lair. Okay, Sans, you better give me a good goddamn reason to not do this.
All right, click the button.
You remember, you're talking to no, I'm gonna give him an opportunity to plead his case.
All he said is you better not. I think that might be enough of his case.
Well, I want to give him like more than 20 seconds. I think that's...
It has been more than 20 seconds. It took us probably 20 seconds to... Alright, so do it. Now he's taunting you.
You forgot about my second attack and you took 10 million damage. Apparently, it
So-
was entirely made out of ketchup.
Guess that's it, huh? Just don't say I didn't warn ya.
Okay, I guess Asgore is gonna be the second ultimate boss of all time. Because he's the only thing left.
Welp, I'm going to Grillby's.
You're just gonna leave while we literally bisected you.
Papyrus, do you want anything?
I can't remember how to do the Papyrus voice.
Papyrus isn't gonna talk. Papyrus is dead. He's talking to ghosts.
Oh, he died.
And he died. Yep, and we leveled up. Level 20.
Hey, we did level up. He was worth what, like... I mean, he had no defense, so I guess he wasn't worth that much experience, like 100.
Not gonna save up? Well,
Yeah,
actually,
I
there's
probably
a save
should.
point for it.
Because you never know about that Asgore. He might be hiding a double trident moveset.
I already told you. So you either forgot or you're choosing to ignore what I told you.
Yeah, it's almost like there's a theatricism to doing Let's Play. I mean, the people at home and watching this after the fact don't know that.
Yeah, they did, because I said it on stream to you.
Oh yeah, I forgot before Asgore there's like, what? 5 save points?
I want to say there's like 2.
I want to go steal all those souls out of those caskets that he's got. Now, how do I steal all this?
It's as comfortable as it looks.
I mean, it is a coffin. I know that you mentioned the level 20 thing before.
Yeah, I did mention that level 20 is actually slightly weaker than level 19.
Well, that's
But it
kind of
doesn't-
a
it
bitch. How are
doesn't
we gonna kill Asgore with lower stats?
It doesn't matter.
Hey, buddy. Have you met my monstrous knife and my
Sir, I was
no-looking
the voice of
glasses?
Asgore. Oh, okay, now I gotta do a manly voice. Curious. I've never seen a plant cry before.
To be fair, I would have done the exact same voice, to be honest.
Huh. You must be the one that flower who just warned me about.
You mean that flower that gave me like 20 minutes of exposition?
And then beg for his life. Howdy.
Did we actually get to kill Flowey, or did he just disappear on us?
He ran away. What kind of monster are you?
I experienced my Canage event. And died.
Sorry, I cannot tell.
I'm almost doing my Papyrus voice again.
Well, we can always... Now.
You can't threaten me when I'm holding this giant notebook.
There's no need to fight. Why not settle this over a nice cup of tea?
I think someone previously tried to do the same thing and I cut them in half.
Sure you did.
Oh wow, he took 10 billion damage?
Why, you...
Ooh, and fucking Flowey stabs him in the back. Don't we need a monster's soul to go through the barrier? Or are we just so
He
powerful?
was all tricksy. I was waiting to kill him for you. After all, it's like, I'm your friend. I'm helpful. I can be used for you. I promise I won't get in the way. I can't help. I can.
I think
Please,
we have...
don't kill me.
I think I've killed everyone else, so you're kind of the only one left, Flowey. Wow, he literally was mushing him into the ground. It's like that snowman we murdered in episode 1. Hey, everybody.
Greetings.
Are you another person that I can murder?
No, they are the one that's been murdering. I am Jamie.
And here's my
So remember
UFO.
that we are playing as Frisk. Remember that we are playing as Frisk. Thank you. Your power awakened me from death. whatever we name ourselves is the spirit of the person who died, you know, before the game even started. My human soul. My determination. They were not mine, but yours. At first, I was so confused. Our plan had failed, hadn't it? Why was I brought back to life? You, with your guidance, I realized the purpose of my reincarnation. Power. Together, we eradicated the enemy and became strong.
We are now the ultimate 8-year-old.
HP, attack, defense, gold, EXP, LV. Every time a number increases, that feeling, that's me.
I'm made out of
Amy.
power.
Now we have reached the absolute. There is nothing left for us here. Let us erase this pointless world and move on to the next.
I don't know, I kind of feel like being a monster. But... nah.
Right. You are a great partner. We'll be together forever, won't we?
Crap. It's crashing the game. Well,
Yeah.
Everyone can see YouTube now.
But yeah, so there you go.
We cut our own face off. I don't suppose we can. I don't suppose we can go back.
There's
and
a
see the other
conversation if
option.
you launch the game. If there's a new conversation if you launch the game.
Okay. Oh, I thought it would. Dang it! That brought up a search bar.
Yep.
Get out of here, Discord. Well, let's see what's up. Might as well round this all out for everybody. There's some wind.
Anyway, we're gonna have to send it over to me on Discord. Otherwise, I just have to watch it from the stream, which will have a delay.
Give me well, it's already delayed. Right now it's just wind noising at me.
No, what comes over? Yeah, I forget if we have to wait real world minutes or not. So essentially, what happened there, if you didn't figure it out, is Jamie killed us.
Was it the monster inside of our body that killed us? Or
Yes.
yeah,
Kind of.
because
If you want to refer to it as a monster, it was this first person, that original kid that fell down.
It was because we were walking around as a monster in human clothing, so someone was possessing someone else.
Well, so when they refer to us as a monster, they don't mean literal monster like they are monsters. They mean monster in the fact that we are a monster, as in we're horrible, as in we're like unapologetically evil, like we are irredeemable. Like that's what they meant when they see us as a monster.
So when you do the genocidal bastard ending, does Undertale just not work anymore?
No, it does. We just have to wait. So what eventually happens is the first human's gonna show up again. They're gonna talk to us, and they're gonna make us a deal, and we can accept the deal or not. And that determines whether we can play the game again. If we don't accept the deal, we can't ever play this game again. Well, that's not true. I'm pretty sure you can like uninstall it, reinstall it, kind of deal and stuff like that. But like, if you keep it installed on your computer and you don't go into the files and change stuff in the files, there is a thing in the files that basically will make it so it's just a blank screen.
So the other idea I had, just to jump back into topics, was Silent Hill: The Short Message, and I kind of wanted to pitch that one because it's a game about teenage depression that doesn't handle it very well, but I don't know if you wanted to look at a game that was specifically pitched because it was bad. I thought you might have interesting things to say on the story.
I might, if we're talking about mental health and then it not handling it well, I feel like I'll have a lot to say.
But the other half of it is that it's a short game, but I don't know if you wanted to LP something that was just outright bad and slightly boring.
Yeah, I don't know if it's bad and boring, I don't know if I want to do it, because bad in an entertaining way is always fun, but bad and boring, not so much. Yeah, I don't know if it's... I don't exactly know how much time we have to sit on this black screen. Now, given, once again, I'm watching it on the YouTube right now, because I don't think you sent it over on Discord.
But I totally did. It's just a black screen.
You did. You did. I pulled it up now.
The desert is going on for miles.
Yeah, Discord wasn't sussy. Basically, all his Discord is me, because he doesn't use it for anything else.
No, but we still had that picture of the feminine Twitch person on it, and I would imagine that's the only thing he's referring to.
Whatever. Finn's a cool dude.
Is that the picture has cleavage in it, and again, I'm pretty sure that's the only thing that could be referring to.
It has cleavage in quotation marks. They're fake boobs in that picture.
Well, it's still
He's wearing prosthetics.
Cleavage, then.
Fair enough. I don't remember the context of what we were talking about.
Well, I just brought up the 2 pitches I had for future projects in the beta list, and then that was basically all I had.
The light rail one, I'm definitely down to do. I don't know. Part of me wants to do the bad, but if it's bad and boring, I don't know if I want to do it over like bad and like horrifically funny bad.
Well, since we're still here, we could do that small topic I had about a quote, some news story I saw about a quote from Mr. Beast that I thought was interesting.
Okay, what did Mr. Beast say? Because I don't really know much about him, other than that he's got a fuck ton of money.
I do want to preempt this by saying that I didn't research this well, so I don't know if this was an actual quote or someone just mishearing things, but I was fine with sharing it in spite of that, because if it was a misquote, it still makes him look good and sensible, so I think either way, I think we should be fine. And
to my knowledge, Mr. Beast is not a bad dude.
Well, someone quoted him because he reportedly expressed frustration that he was hearing people dropping out of college and moving off of jobs to chase, to try and start doing YouTube full time. And I thought it would be appropriate to piggyback off of that by saying, especially in our experience, trying to be an internet person in basically any regards, you basically have to do this as a hobby. This is a thing that does not have basically like any career prospects.
Until you get big.
Yeah, the problem with trying to do that is that you have to do it as a hobby, because like in terms of like legitimate success, like 99% of people who jump into this don't even get close to that. Like a lot of those experiences are basically going to look like what we've done over the past couple of years. And I did want to throw this out there that even if you do break through and get up to the D or C tier, like you get into the 6 figures of subs, or whatever like equivalent is on other sites, whatever the hell it is.
Other platforms.
Even then, like, it's not something that you could legitimately live off of, because I've seen I've heard,
Not off of YouTube money, that's for sure.
yeah, and I don't know if Patreon really, like, I know it does fill the cracks quite a bit, but I don't know.
You can and you can't. It all depends on your audience again there. So just because you have the subscribers doesn't mean your Patreon's gonna work out.
Yeah. And just to keep,
that's how that ends up going.
Just to keep in mind that even if you do break through, it doesn't mean you're gonna break through and be able to do much with it, because even in my experience, like, I need to make about like $3,000 a month to make my finances work, and that is a pretty tough call to make unless you break into the next highest tier, which is even harder than that. And especially since YouTube does not legitimately reward like creative efforts. YouTube's algorithm awards very, very weird content types, and you have to fall into a niche, and even then, like, you could fall out of a niche, or the niche could fall out of the algorithm entirely. Which, successful people who do this, I would imagine, have to do it like basically how athletes do it, where they basically have to wring as much money out of their peak as they can, and then they have to, they're gonna fall off eventually, because we still...
see you later, Sans.
Okay. Wow, it's 2 a.m. where he lives. That's fucking dedication. Well, we appreciate you having around. We're gonna be moving on to a different Let's Play in the future, so if you're interested in future stuff, we're gonna be doing different things. So yeah, it's kind of like an athletic career where it's not like a legitimate career where you're gonna be reliably doing this, whatever you're doing, for 20 years after the fact, because we still don't have examples of people who've been doing this for 20, 25 years. Like some of the oldest... What?
The oldest people have been doing it for like 14, 15.
Yeah, like the oldest that I can think of started around like 2007, 2008, and there's probably some people who've done it like in some form or manner back in like 2003 to 5, I would assume. But even then, like, that's not a full career. And there's a few examples of just, you know, when you actually get into the system and hook your train up to a different company or organization, that arrangement can pull the rug completely out of under you, completely out of your control, like what we saw with Rooster Teeth being shut down by Warner Brothers, I believe. So,
that might have been it.
So, like, to those people who think that this is a viable career path, it hasn't been that way for basically the entirety of when YouTube existed, and even longer than that. So, if you want to do this, you have to do it as a hobby, and, you know, maybe you'll break through and be the 0.5% that actually makes it happen.
Right.
But don't abandon your 9 to 5 or your education or anything that legitimately has a path to making money, because that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. So yeah, because at the end of the day, so how you end up making your money? Because I know you kind of mentioned like how that income eventually comes in. Some people end up doing the Patreon route. Some kind of drift away from YouTube, and like YouTube, they put stuff on YouTube, but the stuff on YouTube is like clips from their streams or like different. Oh, hey, it's time.
Oh.
It was you who led the world to its destruction.
I thought you were reading. Yeah, we did reach text.
But you cannot accept it. Think you are above consequences.
I mostly just wanted to, you know, see the other choice, but I don't know, Void. What is the correct option? I think I'm above consequences.
I have no idea. I know we eventually get an offer. I don't know if this answer matters.
Yeah, I'm the player.
Exactly.
I deserve to be above the game's rules.
Oh, I have a feeling we were supposed to hit no. Oh, no, never mind. Perhaps we can reach a compromise. Okay, yep, they're gonna offer us a deal then. You still have something I want.
Your playtime.
Give it to me. and I will bring this world back.
So there's like a presence within the world that's even more powerful or ancient than Flowey was, because
No, I
it's
mean,
existing and talking to us.
not quite. So, yes. So
I want to play again.
Flowey is Asriel, Asgore's son, the monster son. But he grew up alongside the first human to ever fall down. He in the pacifist ending, I believe he tells us that unlike his counterpart when he was a child.
Oh, I crashed the game again.
Yeah, because now when you launch the game, you'll have it again. But we don't need to launch it again. So essentially what happens now is the game would boot up like the first time. However, some things in the game would be different because we don't have a soul. And we can never get back our soul without tampering in game files. Like literally nothing we do can get back our soul without directly tampering with game files. So it's just gonna boot up like normal. It's just gonna boot up like the very first time you ever booted it up. It's just the some things in the story are gonna be different.
Well, I think that's good enough. I believe we've done full circle, and that was the 3 runs I had planned of Undertale, so I guess we're there. I was kind of hoping we get some credits, but I guess we can stay here.
But yeah, so the thing that was speaking to us was the person who killed us, Jeff, because they're literally the only one around, which is Jamie, or whatever you name them. No, not Frisk.
Okay, fine, it's
so
protagonist's name.
No, because the protagonist's name is Frisk, but whatever name you enter is the name of the first child.
Suppose that would make sense, as literally what it's asking me.
Yeah. So the very first human that fell down, you name them. If you recall, at the very end of I think it was the pacifists, they revealed that we aren't them, that we are Frisk. Like, the game literally told us at that point that our name, the person that we've been playing as, is Frisk. And that we've been traveling alongside the spirit of that person, and we have an uncanny resemblance to that original person. And so, you know, that's our... that's the name that everybody was calling us, because that's what they thought our name was, but it's not. Our name's actually Frisk. So the person who kills us at the end is not Frisk. The person who gets killed is Frisk. The person who kills us is, canonically, I think the name is Chara, but I don't know if that's how that's supposed to be pronounced, but it's like Chara. But it's whatever you put in.
The first few characters of literally the word character.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was I don't know if I have the experience with RPGs to call that the best RPG ever made, but that was certainly incredibly creative.
I was gonna say it's very creative.
I didn't, as you can probably imagine, I didn't really emotionally connect to the characters. I mean, they are very good, well-dimensioned characters. It's just I didn't get connected to them in a way that, like, the genocide route, like, emotionally hurt. I guess probably because I mean, everybody knows that it exists, so we were kind of... I was just going through the motions at that point. We decided that we were going to do both rounds.
So, I don't think the reason the genocide route hurts people is because they're super connected to the characters. I think it's the fact that the game goes out of its way to keep calling you a monster and to, like, make you think about what you're doing in, like, not to these characters, but just, like, you know, to life. Like, if you imagine this world as a real world, what you are doing is horrific and horrible and scary. And that, I think, is the emotional part that the game tries to pull on you. Is it tries to tell you, like, you know, it might be a game for you, but for these people, like, these characters, this is their life, this is their world, and you're fucking with them. Especially the fact that, like, you potentially took away the happy ending, right? And things like that. Sans makes that point to be like, you know, to bring up the fact that, like, you know, Sans doesn't care whether or not... Sans has gotten to the point that he doesn't care whether or not they ever escape to the surface, because he knows that if they escape to the surface, it's just a matter of time before they
Yeah,
it all gets reset.
It's just
because
another
the player
timeline
wants to play it again, right?
that has the ability to observe the other timelines.
Yeah, Sans is one of the characters that is aware of the fact that time keeps getting reset.
It's an incredible use of the I don't know if you still call it stereotypical meta stuff that indie games used to like to do.
I mean, I feel like this game was one of the reasons why so many indie games tried to do meta stuff, is because this game was super meta.
I'm pretty sure it was one of the first ones before, like, a bunch of games tried to do it, and then they kind of burned the idea down, and it became trite. Trite's probably a good word for it.
2015 for Undertale. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's 10 years old, and it still holds up incredibly well, mostly because no one else is really... I don't think anyone's made another game that's been like Undertale. I'll probably...
In a meta sense? I don't know, maybe.
I'll probably throw Deltarune onto the beta list, but I don't really want to do Deltarune as an alpha project. But I'm certainly impressed. I'm obviously not surprised because it's kind of hard to go into this completely blind, just because Undertale is such a unique game that kind of everybody covered it. And it became an internet darling, and it got a whole bunch of memes about it.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I noticed that I never told you, that that's what we needed to do, and you did it, which caught me a little bit off guard today, but yeah, it's partially because, like, that you it's probably because you've just been spoiled on it, that we need to hold right and, like, move the box to the fight command. I've never told you that that's what we needed to do at the end of the Sans fight.
Well, you said go left, so I just kept going. Or you said something about left.
I said you can go now. That's what I thought I said, but maybe I said something about going left. All I know is you moved it down over to the fight.
So yeah, that's gonna be the end of it. I'm gonna boot up the next emulator, and I'm gonna allow you to make your guesses if you want.
I don't even remember the hints for this.
But I am going to boot up BSES. It's probably in my downloads folder. I'm gonna turn off display capture for now. Because I really didn't want to do this in the living room, because that's kind of a rubbish way to do Let's Play. I am going to get my controller mapped, hopefully. It is, okay, let's... Okay, perfect, it's working. It's just... I have to assign everything individually, so this is gonna be a little bit...
Well, to go back to the one conversation before we did the whole final talk and gave away our soul. So yeah, the either people end up setting up the Patreon. A lot of, like, the video SAS kind of YouTubers, do that, and that's where they get most of their money. And then some, some make the, like, YouTube version of Twitch, like the YouTube subscriptions and, like, paid subscriptions and, like, things work for them. That one always surprises me when people have that one working, seem to have that one working for them.
But display capture is still not working, so this is gonna be another window capture one.
Well, hold on, you gotta be careful with the window capture, because suddenly it might be playing your Discord, like what you're receiving over Discord. I don't know.
Well, I mean, the chat, it's been streamed multiple times already, so I'm not really worried about it at this point. So yeah, I've sent you over the stream, you should be able to see it. we are gonna.
Yeah, but on YouTube it's just your Discord.
What the hell? The hell did I do wrong there? Oh, that's because that's window capture. That's okay. That's what's wrong. I thought I hit display capture. So yeah, we probably can do it this way.
There we go. That's right.
So you remember this series?
Clock Tower, yeah.
I was very intrigued by the idea of the original because Clock Tower is a weird series where there's 2 games called Clock Tower. One for the SNES, which obviously came out earlier, and one for the PlayStation. I was very intrigued by the idea of a survival horror game on the Super Nintendo. So I was like, you know, it's a short game. Well, I wanted to put it on the list. And since we got such a lovely mileage out of Clock Tower 3, this is going to go extremely well, hopefully. What surprised me about this game was that it only came out in Japan, so this is a fan translation. I'll probably credit them in episode 2 because I don't want to go to I don't want to really look it up right now, but yes, this is unofficially translated to English. And, I don't have the walkthrough up. I've taken a look at the controls briefly. So basically what I'm thinking about is that this first episode is going to be blind. We're gonna see how we manage, and I think next episode I'll just pull up the walkthrough and we'll do a guided tour of Clock Tower. And then we'll get it done as a one-shot in that episode, and it'll just be a project after that. It'll probably be a one-shot because, like I said, I think we can probably shoot through this in 3 to 4 hours on a guided tour basis. I'm not sure. So, because of potatoes, the story of this game is that I believe some guy who lives in a really big house decided to adopt. Not only that, but he decided to adopt like 4 kids simultaneously.
Oh, I know it's these 2 girls for sure, at least right now.
And I believe our protagonist is Laura. Laura is like, I know she's not an adult. I think she's like somewhere between
one of the
like
kids
13
that were adopted.
and 16.
She's one of the kids that was adopted, John. I've been reading what's been coming across the screen. You don't need to tell me this.
So while I'm fucking around, we'll have time to talk topics, probably. So if you want to go back to the one they actually wanted to do during Undertale, we'll have the time. Because I imagine there's going to be a lot of exploration time.
Sure. I'm going to finish the topic I was on, though, just to finish it.
Yeah, you wanted to describe how
People
YouTubers make it work.
Yeah, so either eventually they end up moving and using a platform like Twitch to make money, and then the YouTube is more there as edited, like, shortened versions of stuff from the stream, and you know, that sort of essentially advertises the stream in a way, and they make a little bit of money from that. And then, as I said, Patreon for some people ends up being the work. I feel like I've noticed that particularly large around video SAS, but not necessarily just video SAS. There are like gamers and stuff that are more focused on, you know, doing games and stuff that end up doing that instead of the Twitch. I
thought we had a sprint command, but it's not working right now. So yeah, the other thing that interested me about this game is that it's kind of a point and click.
Yeah, I see that.
Whee!
But yeah, so and then yeah, finally, and I feel like everybody I've seen I feel like has done this. Maybe there's a couple streamers I watch who managed to have not done this just because they get money from other areas, but
Where are you going, Laura? Get your slow ass over here. I want to go check out the stairs.
But yeah,
you got completely thrown off your stride there.
Yeah, because you were doing weird shit and like talking to Laura. But yeah, sponsorships and stuff. You know, ends up being a large amount of it. And then people make money that way too. Watch as you walk all the way across the room again, and you can't actually interact with the stairs right now.
Well, I guess I'll do the other door.
Anyway,
clop, 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 clop.
is sponsorships.
Laura is a horse.
And then, yeah, and then that's some people, and there's a lot of YouTubers that are doing sponsorships. And basically, the ones
need to
who
get
end
that
up not,
Raid Shadow Legends money.
Yeah, the ones who are big and don't do sponsorships, that's because they are making enough money either through their Twitch streams or through their their Patreon, or in some other way, such as to bring up the sus Discord picture or whatever that Sans mentioned that it's not that sus. Finn makes a good portion of his money on what is called his Battle Pass. And Battle Pass is a website that people are familiar with that isn't actually called Battle Pass, it's just what Finn calls it. And it's for selling adult content.
Yeah, why not? People on OnlyFans can do it. He should be able to as well.
Yeah.
Is it sexy?
For a very long time, he was making a ton of money without actually, like, the pictures were suggestive and whatnot, but like, they weren't.
All of them vanished.
At least to my knowledge, I should say. I guess I never have paid for the Battle Pass because I don't want to pay for that stuff. But he for the longest time, I don't think there was like any nudity or something. I think it was recent because I remember him on one of his streams getting a bunch of shit about it.
Well, I mean, if you want to be public on the internet, you kind of just have to manage that somehow. Like, it's really shitty, but I mean, that's kind of the name of the game.
No, I mean, he got shit because, for the longest time people were wondering what it would look like.
Okay.
And what size it would be and things like that. And then he comes out on HRT at the beginning of this month. He comes out as gender fluid and on HRT for about a year. And then he apparently showed it. And
disappointed.
Some people are claiming that he's using the HRT as an excuse. He came out so that he had an excuse.
Isn't it just like one of them, just like most things, and it's just a stupid coincidence?
With what?
I don't know, like, you get on the therapy and then you decide to do this you don't really, just kind of coincident. It's not really like planned.
Oh yeah, no, he 100% just kind of had both things line up, like that he was gonna the first like,
oh, finally
nude.
We can start sprinting.
The first
Let's go, Laura.
below the belt, the first below the belt non-censor picture just happened to line up with the month where he came out. So yes, that is part of it. But no, the medicine does have an effect on that, though.
I mean, yeah.
But anyway, enough about that. We are in a spooky house, and I was just trying to bring up how internet people make money, and the answer is they don't exactly make the money on the YouTube.
Yeah, you have to do it through other means because YouTube is that shitty.
I was gonna say, as I said, some managed to do it. I know a few YouTubers that at least for a while, were doing a they were like live streaming on YouTube like we do, and they didn't have like a Twitch, and they were managing to
Okay, so I'm guessing that door is gonna be perpetually locked forever, so I should probably stop checking it. Oh yeah, I forgot. The guide, one of the mechanics of this game, for some fucking reason, you lose quote-unquote health when you're running.
Oh, that's weird.
But, on the flip side, you technically have infinite health.
Oh?
Because, as you saw, we can stop her at any time we're safe and get it back.
Oh, gotcha.
Because in Clock Tower, as we kind of saw with Clock Tower 3, they don't really do straight health. It's more like a panic meter. It's kind of an emotion.
Oh yeah, that is how it was. You're right.
Yeah, we finally have the opportunity to explore, and apparently this is the shittiest house on the planet. This is a new emulator, so I am going to check what the, I'm going to check what the save state button is. And, doesn't look like they have the... Doesn't look like they have the, hotkey. Oh, we got a rock. Fantastic. Yeah, I can definitely tell by the...
It's a rock.
I got adopted finally, and all I got was a rock. I didn't even get to see my father.
I was gonna say, I was quoting SpongeBob. It's not a boulder, it's a rock.
Oh, I was going for the obvious Charlie Brown thing.
I got a rock. I got this, I got this, I got this, I got a rock. Comparing Halloween candy.
What kind of stoned shithead hands out rocks for Halloween?
Well, no, so it's not that the shithead's handing out rocks for Halloween. It's that they gave Charlie Brown specifically a rock, because the I got this, I got this, I got this, I got a rock are all the kids after each house in that movie. After each house, they compare what they got from that house. So all the kids, when they're listing the things they got, all of them got it from the same house. You saw them walk up to that house together. The person, the adult on the other side, put candy in each of their bags, and then they're like looking in it, seeing what they got, and Charlie Brown goes, I got a rock. And then they go to the next house, and it's the same thing. Charlie Brown gets a rock again, and it's just Charlie Brown gets a rock.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of the specials in quite a long time, so, as you could probably tell.
Yeah, so that's what it actually is, fun fact.
Woo!
It's
We got our first Resident Evil key. And apparently they weren't able to give Laura eyeballs. It looks like her face is an entire unibrow. Also, isn't that a cheery painting? Don't you just want to live here?
Sure.
With the picture of a corpse.
Why not?
So what else did I think up this week, other than... I mean, I could talk a little bit more about Schindler's List, because I didn't actually talk about the actual story of the... What the fuck did I just do? I didn't actually talk about what happens in the movie. I could talk about Shovel Knight, since I've finished Treasure Trove at the very least. Because being Mega Man inspired means that they were pretty short games.
Yeah, it's not a very long game.
Well, I told you to look at the right bed. Why are you looking at the left bed? Why are there so many things to look at? Oh.
Oh, we're dead.
I think she died. Well, let's see what happens on death in this game.
Go back to the start menu.
Are you serious?
Hold it!
Ah, SNES. What the hell's quick start mean?
It probably skips the like introduction, like cutscene. Yeah,
Okay, come here.
it's so that you don't have to watch like the cutscene over and over and over again.
It's probably one of those old ass games where you better do it in fucking one sitting. I'm gonna have to figure out what button I'm gonna have to hit during the panic sessions. Because I know there is one of the 4 buttons. I suppose the first thing that I'm gonna have to say about my Shovel Knight experience is that unfortunately I have to put my opinion in the unpopular opinion pile, because for most of it I actually didn't like it, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, remember when I was talking about platformer traditionalisms and how the genre really needs to move past them?
Oh, that bothered you?
Yeah, guess what Shovel Knight is made out of?
Yeah, it's, you know, if you fall in a pit, you die. If you land on spikes, you die.
Yeah, it's really frustrating to play, especially during the back half. It does give you a gimme though, where at the very least it doesn't have a live system, which is probably the smartest thing that game did.
Yeah, I don't remember dying being that bad in Shovel Knight.
Yeah, it's got plenty of checkpoints, but even still, like, as much as they're trying to help you out, like, it is really frustrating when you're doing, like, legitimately good and you're actually pulling off a couple of moves, but the entire effort comes crumbling down the second that you fucking fall into a pit. Because the thing is about the game, like, 99% of the times I died was because of instant death bullshit. Like, it was incredibly rare when actual legitimate enemies killed me. And when that's happening, I think you're pushing the traditionalism a bit too hard.
Well,
Okay, did
don't
you die
play my
again?
favorite of the DLCs. I don't know if you've started any of the DLCs yet,
Well,
but
I
don't play
did.
my favorite one.
I did all the DLCs, and I will say the one redeeming factor of that was, not strangely enough, Spectre Knights. I was actually legitimately enjoying Spectre Knights DLC.
Wait, what? Okay, you're mad about traditionalism, but Spectre Knight, the one that has, like, the most moving over pit and, like, aerial maneuver mechanics, is the one that you liked.
Oddly enough, not too bad.
Because that was my favorite one, but I don't mind the fall in a pit insta-die stuff.
Okay, so it's the A button. So yeah, a mirror tried to strangle me. Better take it. Knowing this game and how old it is, there's probably fuck you items somewhere in this game. Now we probably should talk to the parrot, which is probably going to be spooky too, and Laura's so dumb that she's gonna get killed by a parrot. We haven't even seen the antagonist of the game yet. She almost got killed by a mirror ghost. Oh, they actually
He's gonna get us.
Actually got voice acting in this game. That's interesting. Is it actually gonna get us, or is it just gonna taunt us? Okay, Laura, let's leave. Laura, let's leave. The parrot's obviously evil. I was joking, and she got killed by a parrot. Anyway, let's stop you and, get your health back, little lady.
I was gonna say the one I think I disliked most was the Plague Knight one.
Mine was definitely King of Cards, which is unfortunate because King of Cards was the one that had the most interesting ideas. It's not much of a card game, but they fucking put a card game in the game. And, you know, that takes a lot of effort, even as shoestring as the card game is. It's got mechanics and rules and, like, a whole bunch of different cards.
Well, you'll enjoy some of the upcoming Final Fantasy games that you're gonna come up to.
I don't know how much I'm gonna...
Final Fantasy VIII has a card game in it.
I don't know how much I'm gonna be willing to go down the Triple Triad quest line, because it seems very fucking complicated. So why'd you come over here? Where'd you go? You got spooky music and you came over here and there's nothing here. Damn it, Laura, go back to where you were exploring. We got an entire wing to deal with. Actually, we picked up the west wing key, so maybe we can go to the other side of the house. I thought this game was going to be full of a lot of retro game jank, but it seems to be, you know, perfectly playable up until now. I know I'll probably be eating my words in a few minutes, but... Oh, I don't like that sound. Oh, wait, is that just water? I thought that was someone moving, like... I thought that was somebody moving, like, slow. Why does my brain can't say the word fucking slowly? Bathroom. How do I do the door in the bathroom? Where's that light coming from? I'm gonna Google real quick, what's the hotkey for save state in Beast SNES? You have to press a joystick button or a key on the keyboard? Okay, it's apparently in, input. Okay, so I can literally just set it myself. Why is she taking damage? I wasn't paying attention. Do you know why that was happening?
No, I had a friend of mine send me a message.
Okay, I'm going to assign this to F1 and load state to F2. Let's see if that worked. It did work. Perfect. What were we talking about? I know I brought up that we could talk a little bit more about Schindler's List, but I don't know if you'd actually want to do that. That's not okay. Is she dead, or just being held up by... Oh. That's a bit of a problem. Let's go, Laura. I know the perfect hiding place. Laura, go to the door. Do the door. Why is her eyeball still on screen? Damn it, Laura, move. Move your dopey fucking ass. Okay, there was a bedroom back there. Go. Wait, how'd you get over there? Well, he's coming to get us. Okay, never mind. Okay. Get under that one. Because apparently this one is not interactive. What's he gonna do? Stab the mirror ghost for being a bunch of bullshit? You can't see me, I'm hiding! In, like, the ultimate spot for 8-year-olds. Oh, come on. I was in a hiding place. Well, let's try the other side of the house, I guess. I thought for sure that was gonna work. Okay, apparently the emulator fucked up and now our face looks like that. Ah, she died.
Yep.
Well, better try that again.
I watched a movie. What was the name of the movie I watched? I watched a movie this week. It was an anime movie, because I decided to try to watch anime again.
Did you just watch Akira, the only anime movie?
No, I didn't watch Akira. That's not the only anime movie I've seen. Much more than that.
Akira, the only movie that exists.
Ooh, I gotta remember to wash my shot glasses. Jesus.
Okay.
My friend group has a rule where our one friend, if he ever gets thirsty, like, you know, if he's thirsting after some girl for no reason other than just to be thirsty, we take a drink because he had a bad habit in college of just getting like some random girl would walk past and he'd make a comment, or like what it was today is one of my friends shared like a Facebook profile of someone. It was like, who is this person? We're all friends with her apparently, except not all of us are friends because I wasn't friends with them. But I looked it over and I was like a bot. I think it's a bot that managed to friend a bunch of the people in our friend group. But my other friend was like, I don't know, but she's cute, and I'm like, God damn it. So now out of solidarity rule, I'm pouring myself a shot. I'm going to take a picture of it so that he can see that I actually took a shot because of that. Even though I'm pretty sure no one else is gonna take a shot. We weren't out someplace when he said it.
Everyone's got better things to do.
I mean, well, yeah, it's a work night, but back in college, it eventually got to the point where, you know, once we caught him on it enough, he'd be like, fine, fuck you, and he'd start doing it on purpose for the rest of the night to make it so that everybody would have to drink a ton. He's like, alright, you guys gonna keep making fun of me for being thirsty for girls? Well, now I'm gonna intentionally be thirsty so that you guys have to drink a bunch.
What the hell did you trip on?
I didn't trip on anything. Oh, the girl tripped on something in the game.
Okay, you're probably fine.
Sure enough, I might just take a shot. Sure enough. What do I have up here? Oh no, I think I'll take a shot of Fireball.
Outside? Why the fuck are we gonna get outside?
I swear to God, every time I open this, there is more of these little individual bottles of booze that my roommate's mother just gives us, and like, I never know when we get more, because she gives them to him, he doesn't drink, he puts them up there for me and my friends. And then,
yeah, you have friends over every week, how the fuck do you have all these drinks?
So first of all, I don't have friends over every week, I tend to go places actually, it's the other way around. Anyway, I don't need a shot glass if I do a shooter bottle, so...
Well, Laura died again. But hey, at least I'm making progress. I don't even know what that door we unlocked to that place that killed me was the key, the thing that we got a key for. So I don't even know what the fuck. Why does this place look the same as each other? It's gonna be very confusing. Whoops. Okay, so don't just hang around for no reason. I'm bumbling my way through Clock Tower and doing it very badly. That is a phone. But like, where is phone?
I should get something to follow that up with. So that I don't go, ah, God, this fuck, it sucks. So I don't really think I have too much to drink here right now. So it's either water or me just going, ah, fuck, after I take it. So we have fruit juice. I'll just take some.
Fruit juice might as well just be drinking sugar. Can I hide in the hay bale?
Can you hide in the hay bale?
The game said no, apparently. Maybe he can't climb ladders, and I'll be safe.
Anyway, this is probably actually a good, I feel like this will be a good palate cleanse juice. Cranberry juice. I feel like the tartness will help. Even though it's gonna be very different flavors because the shot's fireball.
So yeah, that's the eponymous scissor man that people know.
Ah, my hair's getting in my face.
A tiny child wielding giant scissors. Okay, so yeah, you can't climb ladders. The one weakness of the Scissor Man is that he doesn't know how to vertically orient his eyeballs.
Whew.
Okay, so we got a car key from the box. Well, yeah, they're in your pocket, ding dong. Didn't you just get the fucking car keys? Okay, let me check on something. Okay, perfect. Use car key on the door. Okay, time to car away. Whoosh. You want to try again or abandon this plan? Should we continue trying to get in the car?
I don't know. Go where you want.
Okay. Car keys. Go, Laura, you know how to drive. Well, I keep telling you to car, but you keep getting out of the car. Don't understand how driving works. Okay, let's go. Woo! Joyride. Fuck y'all bitches, I'm out.
And we beat the game! We escaped.
And that was all they wrote. So yeah, this was one of the earlier games by Human Entertainment, who we've talked about previously.
I assume there must be like multiple endings to this game or something, right?
Human Entertainment games are kind of, well, I don't know if it's all their games, but at least Clock Tower is pretty famous for having a lot of endings.
Okay, so we got a ending.
Yes. And I will remind you that when Human Entertainment fell apart around it was either the extremely late 90s or the early 2000s. What ended up falling out of them was, I believe, and you might have to double check me on this, was Chunsoft, who would later give us their famous games, and Grasshopper Manufacture, who we've done for Killer 7 and Cinemora, amongst a bunch of other games. So Human Entertainment, very important company to keep in mind. I know a third one also fell out of the company, but I don't remember who they are or what they did.
Okay. In January 2000, Human Corporation declared bankruptcy for failing to negotiate for restructuring deal over the 3.79 billion yen outstanding debt. Former Human members went on to form different development teams, including Nude Maker, Sandlot, and Spike, which is one half of Spike.
Okay, so that was the other half.
Notable member, Gucci Suda formed his own company, Grasshopper Manufacture, with former members.
Yep,
so you're correct with Grasshopper. You have the wrong side of Spike Chunsoft.
I was there. At least it was in the ballpark.
now because I'm curious. Is there any just Spike games like before they were Spike Chunsoft
I would
that I've
I would
played?
totally believe that they got a couple of games out.
No, they made a bunch of shit. I'm just curious if it's any shit I've heard of.
Probably not. Okay, so we're gonna get the payoff for the car ending? Because if I remember correctly, I'm pretty
Actually,
sure...
no. I know of Life Signs. I've never played Life Signs, but I know of Life Signs.
They were
Spike
gonna get the payoff. Oh, you can't escape.
Bad end.
Yep. So let's abandon that plan and get back in the house to house it up.
Yeah, out of all the games they made, I am familiar with Life Signs. I've heard of that franchise.
Is it actually a franchise or just one game?
More than one. Franchise. Where's the searching?
Okay, so I'm gonna try the West Wing again and see if I don't.
Yes, I know of 999.
Oh yeah, they did
Notary
make
games.
999, the nonary games.
Because I thought that was once they were Spike Chunsoft, but they didn't merge until 2012.
When they were
with-
like, hey,
with
let's make
sister
anime
company.
things now.
In 2005, Spike was bought by Dwango. In 2012, it merged with its sister company, Chunsoft, and became Spike Chunsoft.
Human Entertainment is a bunch of fucking weirdos.
Okay, so yeah, when Danganronpa, the very first Danganronpa came out, they were still just Spike.
Really?
They weren't yet. They weren't yet Spike Chunsoft.
I didn't think it was that old.
2010. So 2 years before they merged. They merged in 2012.
Hot damn. Okay, better heal you up in case we run into the Scissor Man again.
Boy, that is surprisingly good. I was not expecting that. I poured after taking like half the bottle of the little shooter of the fireball, I decided to instead throw it into the cranberry juice and see how that would taste. Really good. Like, I'm digging the like cinnamon like slight cinnamon taste on top of the cranberry juice. Really fucking good.
Here's the requisite creepy mannequin hallway. I don't think Mr. Barrows is a good intention man.
I'm not gonna go remember what the movie I watched was, so I can talk about it, just so that we have something to talk about.
Well, I wouldn't go over the whole... Oh, that mannequin's moving, that's fantastic.
Nonsense. You don't think it's real.
Oh, god damn it.
I told you only thought it was moving, it's not actually moving.
Well,
Maybe you'll get saved by that other mannequin that's moving.
I mean, I'm trying to hit the button. Apparently.
You did it. Go, 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 go.
Maybe I need to use the perfume on the mannequin for some reason? I did want to mention one of the more gruesome scenes in the Schindler's List. Because I thought it's not something that I really expected to creep me out as much as it was.
Oh.
Because one of the scenes before they shift from the ghetto to the camp is the scene where they take in all the belongings that they organized because the victims were basically like, you have to pack up your entire life and go.
Yes. World War II, Nazi Germany.
And god damn it, I died again. And basically what they ended up doing is they got on the trains and they were like, yeah, we're just gonna throw all your belongings in the trash. So what they end up doing is they organize to steal anything valuable within all these trunk cases, and it's like a literal mountain of suitcases that they're systematically thieving and throwing away. And
I have seen real photos of that. When I was in a I visited a concentration camp when I was in Austria.
And because of very obvious reasons, the victims of that society were also the people working on the organization of all these shitty things.
Yep.
At least according to the movie, which at this point is pretty obviously a biopic. I don't know. Like I said earlier, I don't know how authentic it is, but I'd be willing to believe very, very large portions of it are authentic.
No, you are correct. Many victims of the Holocaust didn't really get much of a say and had to do things against their own people.
So the thing that really got me was during that scene, one of the soldiers or just one of the government officials goes over to one of the jeweler's desks and dumps out a bunch of gold teeth on the desk, and is like, the implication is like, you better start working on this shit. We need to get the gold out of this.
That is a thing they did.
And I was like, hot. I was like, God damn.
The Nazis literally ripped
everything of value.
Yeah, they ripped gold teeth out of bodies. There's shit that, like, there's shit where victims of the Holocaust Jews and were like used, like their hair was used for things, like essentially they were treated like how livestock is treated. Like, the fact that we use the hides of a cow to make things, they were treated the same.
Laura's like, why do you have to talk about this in front of me?
Oh yeah, it's a horrible, 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 horrible thing.
And again, this is also the movie that had a scene of like an entire mass corpse burning because of I don't know, bureaucratic reasons or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, there is mass. I mean, you have to put the bodies somewhere. You have to do something with them, right?
The government was like,
there's
hey,
mass
stop.
unmarked graves. There's mass
They were like,
graves,
stop doing the mass
incinerations.
unmarked. They were like, stop doing the mass burial. You need to dig them up, and now you need to burn all of them.
Yeah, because it takes up room.
Because fuck this shit. For the first half of the movie, Oscar Schindler is an asshole. Because he's basically just taking advantage of the moment to make money. Then he turns over once for some reason, he watches what was the word they used? Like, the dissolution of the ghetto. And he was on horseback watching it for like a half hour, and I was like, why the fuck are you watching so much of this? You didn't even need to be there.
I mean, I'll state that, there's probably an element where it can get so horrifying that it becomes hard. You're sort of paralyzed from it, and it's hard to look away.
If you want to see a lot of fucked up shit, I would definitely recommend it.
So to move to a lighter tone, let's talk about the movie I watched. Because the movie I watched is not...
is not a Holocaust biopic.
Not about the Holocaust, and not Turbo Dark.
And not 3 hours long.
No, it's not 3 hours long. In fact, I thought it was too short. I felt this movie sped things up a little too much.
You watched the latest Marvel product.
No, I didn't watch the latest Marvel product.
It's still going.
I might have seen the most recent Marvel movie. I did watch one of them like a few weekends ago with my dad. But
let's take this 10-foot board with
right
us.
now. Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up here on IMDb, so I have things like the runtime.
How about you pick up the plank of wood and put it?
Right, the runtime should be on here somewhere, right?
Oh my god,
no.
Laura,
runtime.
Put 2 and 2 together and put the plank over the floor. Stop being dumb.
No. IMDb, do you not have runtimes on you? That's so weird to me. Why don't you have runtimes on you?
It was 86 minutes, like the.
Oh, there's the runtime. That's a fucking wait. Why is it that low on the page? 58 minutes.
What the fuck kind of film did you watch that was only an hour long?
Anime movie.
Oh yeah, you were saying that earlier.
Anyway, the movie's called Kase-san and Morning Glories.
Ooh, it is a statue. Let's admire it.
Nah, we don't need to stare at the statue. But it's about
Yeah, we probably should get into role playing as a 16-year-old girl and not stare at boobs. We need to go find the
Well,
Pookie
we
statues.
can do both if we talk about my movie, because the movie is
The movie's pretty horny.
I'll just read this basic summary. Yamada is a shy girl in high school who loves doing greenery committee work. That's a weird way of wording that. She's in the horticulture club. I don't know why they wrote it as greenery committee work. Like it's the horticulture club.
Well, as we established in Persona 5, like, Japan in fiction world has just a ton of really stupid clubs.
Well, yeah, but I don't understand why IMDb is referring to the club as greenery committee.
Because it was written by a foreign person who doesn't understand how things work.
Well, the summary is written by someone named Anna Can, which I assume works at IMDb, but the movie is I watched it dubbed, but you know, they say horticulture club in the dub, which is what it would be called. Anyway, but one day she falls into a conversation with Kase, the popular and talented school track star. Suddenly, Yamada's whole life changes, and she realizes she likes Kase-san. But how can Yamada admit her feelings? Oh, there's a spelling error in this. Come on, Anna Can, get your shit together. There's a spelling error in this.
Well,
It says
I mean,
admit
you
het
could...
feelings. Admit het feelings, which I find funny because there's nothing het about this movie. This movie is not het. The het feelings for another girl.
But what happens when she gets turned down and thrown into a big pile?
And could Kase ever fall in love with her too? Actually, the movie starts out with them already dating.
Oh, so it's
Like the opening moments.
fast
The opening
forward.
moments. Yeah, the opening moments of the film is that like them asking each other to date, and then the rest of the movie is you know, just different moments throughout their high school as they deal with different stuff and have different, you know, different
Why would there...
life, you know, they go on like a school trip, and then there's like some awkwardness with that, and there's like, you know, they go through like a lot of the high school awkwardness
Oh god,
stuff
are you
with
in that
it.
box? Oh, there's a cat in there.
I got the cat's gonna kill you now.
Nah. Well, use it. It'll make you feel better. So should we talk to the cat?
Oh, maybe. Can we talk to the cat?
Oh, they animated the cat. That's a really big cat, by the way.
It is a chonker.
Or Laura is like, I don't know, 4'6".
I still just like the fact that the typo in the IMDb thing is het feelings for another girl. She doesn't have het feelings. She has queer feelings.
This game is an unofficial translation, and it has yet to have a spelling error. So eat it.
Yeah, good job on these translators. Bad job on this person that read the summary for the movie I watched.
Why'd you run the water for 2 seconds?
Movie feels really like fast paced, as you like, you know, you're essentially going through their entire high school career in 50 minutes, which is a lot in a short amount of time, and like the different like anxious, anxiety ridden moments for the two girls.
Well, yeah, the one girl barely understands her own sexuality, so this is really hard.
Yeah, and then
I bet the other girl is like, yeah, lesbians are a thing. Get on my page, Sonny Jim.
no, I mean, I would argue that both girls navigate the situation with the same level of like uncertainty about things. The Kase character actually has a habit that you notice watching the film where she gets like the anxious, like, oh god, you're gonna break up with me, like thoughts constantly, where she like essentially freaks out and like misreads social signals from Yamada that she interprets as Yamada wanting to break up with her. Meanwhile, what Yamada is Yamada's just like shut down because she's not sure how to handle a situation, and it leads to that happening because what is it, they're on a plane for the school trip.
Oh yeah, I
And,
put that board down. I can use it finally.
They're on the plane for the school trip.
I'll tell you once we do.
Does the thing happen on the plane, or does it happen when they're off the plane?
Wait, what the hell is that?
Oh, so the track girl's pretty popular because she's the big track star. It's a very clearly fake wallpaper covering something up.
Well,
that you just need to
unfortunately, I
rip
don't
down.
have a knife. I have perfume.
Oh well. But yeah. Anyway.
And our girly protagonist is too girly to rip. Okay, she doesn't know how to rip
It's
up paint.
painted over. It's painted over.
Why don't you punch it with your tiny fist?
But anyway.
Or, hit it with your shoe or something. How about you push over that statue on it?
Because she's the star of the track team, she's commonly getting, like, pulled away.
She probably has a
other
lot
people.
of boy toys she could indulge in.
I think it's an all-girls school.
Okay,
I'm
never
not
mind.
entirely sure because, like, there's one scene that threw me for a loop because I'm like, I don't know if these boys are from, like, another school or if they're from,
I'm
or if they're from,
I'm gonna have to come back here and get that rope.
Because when they're on the plane for their school trip, there are boys on, like, student boys on the plane. But when they're, like, in school, I don't remember seeing student boys. So it might have been an all-girls school.
Woo!
But yeah, her track friends keep pulling her away, the one girl away, and that causes it's always like at really inopportune times and stuff, and it ends up being like this weird, like,
damn it, there's no place to hide.
why can't she doesn't ever seem to say, like, hey, why can't
you stay over at my place?
well, I was gonna say more like, why can't, like, you tell them to wait and finish what we're doing and then go to them instead of just immediately go to them?
Because I'm the popular girl, which means I have to make time for literally everybody.
I mean, that's basically it, but they never do have that conversation of why. But what it does is it causes Yamada to doubt the relationship, which then Kase notices, and then Kase freaks out because Kase thinks Yamada wants them to break up. But it's more like Yamada is freaking out internally, and like when she freaks out, she just shuts down and gets super quiet. Unlike Kase, who when she freaks out, she like panics. Anyway, looks like we're gonna die.
Yeah, I don't really have any other options because I can't like run across. This game is kind of two-dimensional. Okay, that did kill me. But don't worry, I saved earlier. I'm just gonna have to figure out a hiding place.
But yeah, cause I know they go on vacation and they're having fun on the vacation and they're like in a gift shop and they're talking about like buying each other matching, I want to say it's like matching keychains or something. I don't actually fully remember what it was, but they're gonna buy themselves matching something. And while they're in the midst of talking about what to get for their matching thing, her track friends come and pull her away. And I do think there's like an element to the movie that maybe if it was like, more fleshed out, because I do feel like, it comes from a manga that I'm sure is significantly longer and more fleshed out. But like, there seems to be this element of, I think part of the reason why she keeps getting pulled away by her track friends is because like other people around them don't see the two interacting as a couple. They see the two interacting as like friends at the all-girls school. And like, I feel like there's a thing to talk about there with like, like trying to keep up appearances and just like in public look like they're friends. And then like when they're not, when they're alone, kiss and hold hands or be like much closer.
God damn it. Lori, you led me astray, and now we just literally walked in a circle. I didn't think this game would be so, like, devoid of hiding places.
Well, yeah, and then, because, yeah, they end up on the school trip, and after she gets pulled away by her friends, the other girl shuts down, and then is being awkward, and they're at the aquarium, and
she drowns in a tank.
No, they're at the aquarium, which, as someone who's watched a lot of Yuri movies, I'm just gonna say, what's with Yuri and aquariums? The number of times they go to aquariums in Yuri stuff is way too high compared to, like, just any other anime I've ever seen. In fact, I don't know if I've ever seen another anime where, like, they went to an aquarium. So I don't know what that's about, but that's a thing.
It's probably just for the octopi and the very obvious joke.
Except that we don't, it doesn't happen. Like,
well, you
that
get the
joke isn't
implication
made.
that it could happen.
Eh.
There's an octopus directly behind
They
them.
just look at, like, the pretty colored fish and stuff. But anyway, they're at the aquarium, and it looks
can
like, as a class, they've been, you know, like, divided into...
Come on, go. Go. You need to get in that box. Also,
too
you're
late now.
fucked now. I blame you for that, Laura.
Alright, well, hopefully you remember how to get there, so you can just beeline it there.
Yeah, I suppose it's a decent as place as any to be.
But yeah, anyway, they're, like, separated into, like, groups, you know, like, buddies and stuff as they go through the aquarium. And, like, the two girls aren't in the same group, but, like, they kind of both keep looking back at each other when the other one's not looking and, like, worrying about it, and then eventually Kase, the track star, grabs the other one and, like, drags her out to, like, a beach area and is like, what's going on? Are you breaking up with me?
No, I'm
And
gonna
then
drown
it's
you
like-
at the beach because I hate you.
And no, they don't break up, and then it's a very sweet, sappy movie. I did enjoy it. I am a fan of the sweet and sappy. Yeah. It just felt rushed because, a number
Okay,
of
hide in the cabinet. Oh wait, you can. Because your dopey ass doesn't.
Ready to press the button.
I mean, I tried to, but she died.
Good.
I feel like I've almost explored the whole place. I need to just find some items.
Well,
I have a feeling that the perfume should go on that mannequin that we saw earlier, because I haven't seen any other, like, women-y things that I can interact with.
maybe.
What items do I got? Maybe Laura... Okay, here it is. I have a rock, perfume, and the car keys, which I can't use. Now I will use this rock to kill someone. Now let's try that hallway. Maybe that hallway's got something beyond it. Nope, it's another dead
I
end.
also started reading the manga again, so that's kind of neat. That's kind of what caused me to go watch the movie. And not that I was reading the manga for that movie, that didn't happen, but...
I guess I could recommend that book I finished quickly, since it kind of relates to your anxious young people. Because it's
Anxious young people are fun to watch.
because it's I can't remember the exact title. It's kind of long, but the actual title is Quiet, and it's something along the lines of the power of introversion in a world that can't stop talking. It's definitely got some good points. Basically the main point of the book is that there's a because certain segments of society are obsessed with trying to increase extroverted traits, they kind of forget that there is good things to what introverts can offer to the world. And it goes through theories and explanations in some details. So, I don't know, it seemed like a pretty strong self-help book. Had a section on parenting, which obviously didn't really add anything
Why
to
do you?
me.
See, the thing with that is I'm not an introvert, so...
Well, it related to, you know, kind of your movie thing. So that's why I wanted to bring it up.
Fair enough, but yeah. No, I mean, I definitely agree that, you know, society can sometimes forget that introverts bring something to the table too. I just personally don't understand how introverts don't get bored.
We find our passions in other places.
So I cannot sit by myself at home for like more than 2 days before I'm just like, oh god damn it, I want to do something.
And I mean, that's one of the many theories, is that, you know, the energy is gotten from different places.
Oh, that is what it is. Because you know, for example, one of the big ones that I feel is a good example that I can use myself as an example versus, like, say, my roommate. My roommate's introverted. He does not leave his room very often. And when he, you know, does go out and about for like a family trip or something for multiple days, he gets even more not like in his room, not coming out for a period of time. Meanwhile, I'm the opposite. If I spend too many days without talking to someone else, like in person, I can get depressed. Like, I actively lose energy if I'm not interacting with people, which is different than introverts, where it's the opposite, where they lose their energy when they, you know, when they interact with people. I have to interact with people, which is why, you know, to point things out, Monday I got lunch with a friend, or I got dinner with a friend. Today I'm hanging out with you, albeit it's virtual. Tomorrow I have a friend coming over.
To be honest, if I lived in the cities, I would
to
probably push for this to be more in person. But I don't.
No, I know.
I'll hide in the piano. The
I have a
perfect
friend.
hiding
I have a
place.
friend coming over tomorrow. We're gonna watch TV and eat dinner.
I would imagine
and
you need more opportunities, considering you are currently not working.
Yeah, I mean, I need to get back to work. As I mentioned to you the other day, one of the reasons why I don't shut up, one of the reasons I don't shut up now, like compared to before, where it's harder for me to like end conversations, is because I'm starved for conversation, right? My brain just immediately wants to keep talking because I haven't gotten the opportunity to talk. Because I used to just talk to coworkers and talk to customers and talk to people at work all the time, and so, you know, I had constant interaction with people, but now I don't because I'm currently unemployed because I got laid off and stuff, so,
Well, at least you get the benefit from the system. Hopefully.
Yeah, so hopefully eventually I get someplace, but yeah, you know, I've been trying to do my best to hang out with people as much as I can,
I
a
would
bit
be
more
on
than I
UI
was.
as much as possible if I was in your shoes. But that's annoying because you have to reapply for it every fucking week because the system is designed to not work. But I don't really have much of it. Actually, I did want to put remote work in the 4-day week on as a topic, but I don't. I think the problem is that it would be pretty unfocused because I don't have a lot of, like, super main points, I guess.
I mean, I think it's perfectly fine. I think, you know, we have proof already that people are more productive and whatever when they, you know, get to do that, or they, you know, the people who do benefit from that, get to do that, and I don't see any issue with it.
Well, I think it's definitely...
I think in comparison, because I myself would rather work in the office. However, in exchange for it, I think I'd want to get, you know, I think we need to start paying for the commute.
Bop, bop, bop. Bad, Lord, bad.
I think, you know, your commute is some of your work day, and you should be paid for it.
Yeah.
And where people who work from home don't have that commute, they just, you know, sit down and they start working. Which is one of the benefits they get, but...
I think my main point is that, you know, here's the thing, like, there's no consensus on it right now, because everyone has their own opinions on it. Some of them are in power, some of them are not, and unfortunately, kind of like with the healthcare thing, our society is just not ready to fully accept changing the whole paradigm. And eventually it's going to happen. I could imagine that in the next least. Honestly, at first, I thought it was going to take a lot longer. I thought that, like, legitimate change wouldn't happen until, like, 20 years from now, when I first talked about it with my dad. When I was noticing that, you know, things are changing, and the paradigm, the schedules aren't what they used to. They're not standardized anymore. And the talk is starting to get legitimate, not because some rare employers have made the switch, and there has been news stories about them making the switch. But I think the thing that's going to end up being the odd pusher of the 4-day week, at least, is honestly the school system. And I think the school system, in the rare cases where it is happening, and I think, honestly, it was up for consideration in one place in Minnesota, oddly enough, like some small town place. Get in the... God damn it, Laura, you have the worst hiding place ideas. Hide in the shower.
You're saying the schools are moving to a 4 days week?
Yeah, it's also been in the news almost at the same rate, where schools are switching to 4-day week schedules. Probably in the same rare few instances. And I think that eventually is going to be an odd pusher of it in general, because I think that, I would imagine that parents would want, you know, the school schedule that they have to deal with to mirror closely their work schedule. Because if their kids are going to school only for 4 days, but they're working 5, that might cause a lot more friction.
Alright, because now you have to find something for your kid to be on that 5th day. But yeah, no, it used to be the case that the work week was 4 days.
But the one thing that needs to be looked through is this idea, and I think in like some cases, if people are again arguing in good faith, I do feel like there's probably some places where it probably wouldn't be ideal to switch to that schedule. But the general idea of people having where, because in America this always is the rejection of new ideas and how it devolves into most things, where people claim that, you know, X change is going to destroy the economy. It's not going to destroy the economy. It's just going to have to be something that's going to eventually be accepted, and we'll have to form our life around this new system, because I think the people...
we used to have a 4-day work week in the United States, so...
Well, we also used to have a 6-day work week, like way back, like in the 19th century. But that's the thing, like people saying that, oh, a 4-day week is completely impossible and ridiculous are just blatantly wrong. Because as I pointed out a long time ago, when we more earlier talked about this, is that the 5-day week, we have to realize, is something that we just made up as a society. Like, it's just something that we collectively decided that's the standard. And the weekend does exist because we made up the weekend. Like, a change can happen. It's just that we would have to form... A lot in life would have to change to form around a 4-day week. Because there's going to be massive changes, and it's definitely going to affect the economy, but I think the addition of the leisure time isn't going to destroy the economy. It's going to provide new opportunities. And the thing I want people to remember is that, unfortunately, one of the biggest benefits in my mind to opening up the 4-day week is something that people aren't going to readily see because it's kind of intangible, and I think that's going to be a new wave of entrepreneurialism and new ideas coming more regularly, because I think that having the more free time is going to free people up to chase new careers and new businesses, because I would feel that a bunch of people have the ideas, but the thing that's getting in front of them is that they don't think that they have the time to pursue it. And if they have more time regularly, then I think we're going to be seeing people jump into their crazy ideas more regularly. And sure, a lot of them are going to fail, but I think that the more regularity of people willing to go for it is going to shake things up more than I think people are giving it credit for. But arguing that is kind of hard because, like I said, that's kind of an intangible thing. Even though I firmly believe that it's most likely going to happen in some regard. But things are changing. It's just moving very slowly because in America we don't have a popular labor presence. We're
in the modern America.
We're still.
We used to.
I think the thing that's going to be required for any of this to move past is both labor unions are going to have to become
back.
Well, yes, they're going to have to. Oh. Well, good on you, Laura. We finally fucking managed to get past that. Because I've been running around like a fucking idiotic monkey this whole time, trying to fucking
because
So the one thing that we're going to need is that strong unions are going to have to make a comeback, which is not going to happen very fast. And the other thing is that
the older generations don't understand what unions can help them with.
Which is kind of ironic because a lot of boomers in older industries are in unions.
Well, so
at least in the stereotypical ones.
The unions in the United States came out because of the Greatest Generation, and then the boomers forgot what their forefathers put into place to help themselves and dismantled it all. And that's how we ended up back where we don't have unions anymore, because there were a lot more unions than there are now.
Well, yeah, I can't totally be against them because here, like a big part of this is that obviously politicians lied to them about pushing all this shit, and it might have been a better economy that allowed this to be easier to happen. But I believe that's definitely part of it. Like, they just lied about the benefits of whatever, and it was part of what allowed everything to go backwards.
Reagan.
Yeah, but there was definitely a lot more people involved. It's a whole big, decades-long cycle of shit.
Reagan's one of the popular voices that convinced the common man at the time.
Yep.
Of these ideas.
I mean,
He was the charismatic voice that was able to convince, Joe Schmoes.
I'm not going to defend him, but I just don't want to fall into that trap of like. I'm
not saying it's solely Reagan.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
just saying, he was the mouthpiece that helped spread it to the common person. That's how it reached voters on a wide scale. Is Reagan and others like Reagan, but Reagan's a big one.
So the second thing I'm gonna believe is gonna need to happen to start off this change, and I firmly believe that it's been set in motion. I don't believe, unless like the economy somehow completely explodes and we're gonna have to start over, which I don't think is gonna happen, but you never know, is that a new company is gonna have to be the Ford Motor Company on this one, and they're gonna have, like, a big company is gonna have to be the first one to publicly in the news say, no, we're gonna do this because, we've seen it work in X, Y, and Z. Because I think a problem is that corporate decisions aren't well thought through in a bunch of cases, and it seems like they're more based on feelings of the people in power rather than any hard data, or they just blatantly ignore the benefits because it benefits them or the bottom line, and they choose to ignore it.
That's what it is. So a large, the upper class doesn't care a lot about how shit affects the lower class, and they're the people in power, so they ignore it, while on the other hand they feed a bullshit version of it to the uneducated people in the United States to help reinforce it so that they stay in power and get votes. And that's like the modern day Republican Party. When the Republican Party goes against evidence I don't think for most of them, because nowadays there are some, but I think most of them know what they're doing. I think most of them know exactly that they're going against the evidence. Like they know that it works, but by it being around, it risks their power, so they choose to ignore it and tell their constituents that it doesn't work,
Ooh,
even though it
perfect.
does.
I wanted to try this interaction and see if it worked. I'm gonna try and use the perfume on this thing. Because, again, this is the only woman-shaped thing in this game. Well, now it's not woman-shaped. That I can interact with. These mannequins are pretty shitty. What about that one moving in the background? Is it interactable?
That's the one I assume you might have to do it on, is the...
But it might just be to be like a spooky thing in the background.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be looking forward to episode 2 of this, where basically just running it through a walkthrough, because I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. We might actually cut off early, because I'm actually getting kind of bored.
That's fair.
So, I don't know, it might be around 10:30. I don't know if I want to do another hour of this, to be honest.
Yeah.
Which, you know, nothing particularly against Clock Tower. It's definitely an obtuse game, but I think it's probably a game of its time. But yeah, it's not explaining itself very well, especially since apparently there is no map to this game. If you wanna kind of just get to the end of the episode, there was that Chihiro-esque topic that we wanted to do during Sam.
Yes, from a very long time ago at this point. Where I was like, hey, I want to talk about this and, like, my thoughts on it. And now I have to try to regather my goddamn thoughts on it, because I haven't had to think about it for a while.
Do you want me to...
Give me a little bit. No, I have the thoughts written down someplace, so I'm just gonna find them.
I was gonna be like, I have some different thoughts on this too, so I was like, do you want me to go first, and maybe
I was
then
gonna say,
you'll have
I
the
thought
time?
we briefly talked about it already, but maybe we didn't. So, I'll probably just read what I wrote.
I mean, that's fair.
Just verbatim. So, spoilers for Danganronpa Chapter 1, or Danganronpa 1 Chapter 2. Danganronpa 1 Chapter 2 for anybody who wants to, not be spoiled.
You're probably not spoiled, because you've definitely watched every Let's Play.
If you've watched our Let's Play, then you already know. And I do, yeah, so...
Go and watch our Let's Play.
So yeah, I was juggling with some thoughts with this for a while, and I think it's an interesting discussion, and I do want to get more people's inputs on it. And that's... Japan has a weird anime trope, and I don't know if I'd call it a trope or an archetype.
It's oddly consistent.
It's the thing where an anime character is cis-male, I'd argue in cis-male in name only. And it's a very effeminate man who but many of these characters of this archetype, and not all of them, but many of the characters in the archetype essentially live their entire life out as a girl, using female pronouns for whatever reason. Sometimes it's just because, like, at some point in their life, people decided that they were a girl because they didn't and they just never corrected anybody. And they don't correct people, as I said, and eventually it gets revealed that they're a guy, and it's this big, like, moment, or this big revelatory moment, or this big, like, haha, you were attracted to the moment. Like, it's either a joke, but not always. I just find it odd, and my guess is there's a cultural thing that I'm missing to how this started and why it's kept up, but it seems really not great in the modern era, because a lot of these, they're transcoded characters, and a lot of these characters could be written to be trans representation instead of just transcoded. And that brings me to Chihiro. I'm paraphrasing what I wrote.
I
But
will say
anyway.
I do have my own. I just thought of it like a very old example of a similar thing from way
Okay.
back.
Yeah, go ahead.
Back when I first got into Naruto, and if anyone else remembers, you know where I'm going with this.
Haku.
Yeah, Haku. The one of the first antagonists. It always annoyed me because
I love them.
I mean, it's not the problem is they weren't much. It's kind of weird to say they weren't really the driving force of the story, so I didn't really give a shit. But it's a female designed character with male pronouns, and that always bugged me because the thing I got out of it was it's a female designed character, and I feel like the show, I probably read too much into it, was using it as a gotcha. Where it was like, no, this is obviously a male character, and we've tricked you with how we've designed the characters. Like, no, you just designed them like that. It's not a trick.
So, I don't remember enough of the Haku stuff because I only watched up to the tuning exam back in the day as a kid, and then I kind of never went back to it. So like I haven't seen like the majority of Naruto. However, this is like the very first arc of the anime, so
Yeah,
I have
like
seen this,
story.
and it's the Haku is probably one of my favorite characters. But I don't remember how it was set up. All I know is like Naruto thinks they're a girl, and it's like they fight. Well, no, the very first time they fight, Haku's wearing a mask.
Yeah.
And I don't think Naruto gets a look at their face. And then they end up in a village, and I forget what happens to Naruto, if he like gets poisoned or if he just gets sick from something or just like does something stupid and hurts himself or what. But like Haku ends up like nursing him back up and like helping him. And he thinks Haku's this very pretty woman, and yeah, Haku is 100% looking like a girl here, dressing in female attire.
Doesn't she also have boobs?
No, Haku doesn't have boobs.
I might have to re-look at it because I haven't looked at it in probably like 7 years at this point. Seriously, where's that fucking phone?
Here, I'm gonna find an image. So here's them in the female clothing. I will send it to you.
Yeah, get out of my face, Beastnez.
And
Oh yeah, you're right.
this is them in their like ninja combat outfit. Neither of them have boobs.
I think that was the thing that really got me, was I swear that character design had boobs on it. But apparently it didn't.
I remember that they didn't have boobs, but they are like you know, effeminate gestures, effeminate like face design. But yeah, when he's in the pink, you know, whatever, he uses very effeminate gestures and like, yeah, it's hard to tell. I don't remember all the details with it, so I can't comment fully if it was like I think it was kind of a joke because like Naruto's supposed to be a dumbass, and so like Naruto didn't see it, and haha, Naruto fell prey for it. I think was like supposed to be like the bit there, but also I don't know, because as I said, it just feels like there's this archetype in anime of characters, and like sometimes it just feels like they're there and it like kind of is a joke, but maybe it's not, and like the Naruto one's like that, because is Haku the joke or is Naruto the joke? Because a lot of the time in and of itself Naruto just is a joke.
I would imagine that
like the character of Naruto.
I'd imagine it's probably on Naruto because at the very early part, Naruto is the king of all the dumbasses. So
yeah,
I could very easily believe that they did that just to fuck with him specifically.
Well, yeah. So anyway, back to the thing
Chihiro
with
is
these
this
characters and
archetype.
Chihiro. So, I was thinking about this archetype, and I was thinking about Chihiro, and I actually think Chihiro's story and the lesson it gives, or is better if we look at it through the lens of Chihiro being trans, instead of Chihiro being a cis male. So to sum it up, as a child, Chihiro was bullied for being weak and unmanly, so much so that Chihiro eventually decided to live as a girl because he wouldn't be bullied if he was dressed as a girl and blended in with women. During the second chapter of Danganronpa, Monokuma, the villain, and for those who might not remember or haven't played, overseeing the death game that all the kids are trapped in, provides a motive to convince one of the students to commit murder, because that's the whole thing. It's like one of the students has to murder the other one, and then you all end up trying to... No, the secret DVDs was chapter 1.
Was this like the envelopes?
Yeah, envelopes fell from the ceiling with everybody's name on it and had their secret written on it, and then Monokuma's like, I'm going to reveal your secret. So the motive, which I kind of just said, is that Monokuma has gathered the secrets on all of the students, and if someone doesn't die within, I want to say, 1 or 2 days after he reveals this, he's going to reveal all of this, he's going to tell everybody else the secret that you just saw on the slip of paper that he has on you. And, some of the secrets are super minor, and I believe, 3 of the characters basically just tell their secret, off the cuff, because it's, whatever. And, the protagonist that you're playing as, his secret, for example, is that he, wet the bed into, a slightly older age than normal kids. So, at this point in his life, he's not too concerned about people knowing that if it means he doesn't die. That doesn't bug him. Maybe if it was just ordinary high school, he'd want to keep it a secret, but, the fact that he wet his bed still at, 6 years old or whatever doesn't matter. Whatever, I'm sure it'll be slightly embarrassing, but, I'll survive. However, we don't know what everybody's secrets is. Some of them could be rather big, and we still don't, by the end of the game, know what all of their secrets were. As I said, there's, 3 of them that I think get they just share it because it's, no big deal for them. But anyway, Chihiro's secret is that they are a boy. And then, however, rather than falling into despair and killing someone to hide his secret, Chihiro decides that they need to get manlier and stronger for their friends, and so turns to the tough guy and the big macho man of the classmates, Mundo, for aid. He then reveals his secret to Mundo to have Mundo, help train him so that he can become strong and brave. And in this moment,
should we remind everybody that this ended with a crucifixion?
I'll get to that, but that doesn't really because the crucifixion element is by Kira fucking with the murders after the fact, so it doesn't matter to the lesson in the story of Chihiro because it's after Chihiro's dead.
Yeah.
However, so upon learning this, Mundo not wanting to face his own secret, gets driven into a rage, because how dare Chihiro have the bravery that he doesn't, and he strikes Chihiro down with a weight. So he bludgeons Chihiro to death in one hit with a weight. And Mundo's secret is that he had caused the death of his brother. It was an illegal street race or something that he challenged his brother to because he had to be, big man and everything. And to be cocky in the race and to get the upper hand, he, tried to pass his brother on the road, and an oncoming semi was there, and his brother pushed him out of the way, and got hit by the semi instead. And so, anyway, after calming down, Mundo then switches the crime scene from the men's locker room to the female locker room, and it's stated that he did this to hide Chihiro's secret and as kind of a sort of apology. However, it kind of comes up later that I don't know if that's true, Mundo. You might have just did this to cover your own ass. That is something that eventually gets said to him, but it is never fully revealed if he did it
out of like a sense of honor, because he is an honor-bound person with his whole Macho Man stuff. So like I do believe Mundo could have done it for an honor thing. But also, yeah, maybe he just did it to cover up the murder. Anyway, regardless, Mundo is found out, and during the investigation, everybody finds out that Chihiro's is a boy. What sort of bugs me about the story is that Chihiro's courage and like the whole like big moment for Chihiro and like the lesson is that he needs to man up. Like by choosing to man up and by having the courage, he died, maybe, or like he was able to have that. He was able to man up over the problems that happened, even though Mundo couldn't, or something. And so like in reality, I guess Chihiro was more of a man than Mundo. I don't know, but to me it feels like you're making Chihiro's childhood bullies right, in the sense that like
bugs in there.
If his childhood bullies bullied him for not being like masculine and strong enough, and this story has him like redeem himself in the end by having that courage only to get killed, but he was going to come out as a guy and start living as a guy. So like it feels like he's sacrificing his femininity for that courage and that masculinity. And
did he? I mean, when you say sacrifices his femininity, did he even want it in the first place?
I mean, well, so my point is, the reason he's dressing as a woman is because he was made fun of for being an effeminate male. So, like, yeah, he wanted to be himself. He just dressed as a woman to, like, get away from the bullies in, like, the original backstory. I just feel like this version makes the bullies right and does all this weird shit, and I feel like it could be better. And I have read multiple different like people on the internet's like take on it. I've noticed that like a large group of players that identify as LGBT want to reclaim Chihiro as a trans woman, while others seem to interpret the story as a tale of toxic masculinity, and claiming by getting ahead of the secret, Chihiro is accepting themselves as an effeminate male.
I don't know about that. I think in my mind, toxic masculinity has a different definition.
Well, so it's not that Chihiro's toxic masculinity, it's that what Mundo does is, like, Mundo's stuff is toxic masculinity, right? The fact that Mundo can't reveal a secret because it would be unmanly for him to admit weakness, right?
Oh, yeah, in that regard.
That's where they're coming across with the toxic masculinity.
Now get it.
I think both sides, to me, miss details. The trans reclaimers seem to argue that Chihiro is canonically a trans woman, which, as much as I would want that to be the case, just isn't.
The problem,
like what's
the problem
stated in the
is
game.
that I mean, you can have your interpretation, but there's, especially in this case, like gender being more of a thing is like. It's kind of rough because I can say, well, the author wanted it this way, but death of the author also exists, so you can have it your way.
Right. But yeah. Anyway, so that's because it literally in the text, like, yes, we can headcanon it and we can choose it to be that way. In fact, I do. But Chihiro in the story as written, like the literal words on the page, is not trans woman. However, I do think the people that are like, toxic masculinity and Chihiro is accepting themselves as a feminine man are also missing the point, because I don't see this as Chihiro accepting themselves as a feminine man. I see it as himself trying to get manlier, right?
Yes.
He seeks out the manliest man in the cast, Mundo, to physically train him, as well as help him become more of a dude bro.
Well, that's what I was saying, and what you were implying by saying that he wanted to become the stereotype that he bought into his bully's bullshit.
Yeah, that's how I see it, is that he bought into his bully. He ended up, in the long run, he was buying into his bully's bullshit. And, he felt shameful for his effeminacy. Anyway, so And that's why I see it. He's not accepting himself. And the moral to chapter 2 is that by willing to face their secret, Chihiro was more manly than Mundo. But Chihiro, so like, yeah, there is like an appearances can be deceiving like element that, you know, Chihiro in the end is like manlier than Mundo, even though he dressed effeminately. But Chihiro facing his secret seems to mean, in the context of the story, choosing to become more masculine, which paints Chihiro's being feminine as a weakness that he needs to overcome. Chihiro having the courage to face their weakness and femininity and become stronger is shown to be desirable over what Mundo did. Because Mundo, despite having physical strength, didn't have the strength to face his weakness, which was his guilt for his loss of his brother. However, you know, I do think that's not a good lesson. We shouldn't teach people that it's admirable to have courage to face your weakness, and I'm going to put weakness there in quotation marks, with your weakness being effeminate, like, or femininity.
Oh, wait, maybe this perfume could scare away the bugs.
Cause that's not it. So now I'm gonna throw out a different version of the narrative that I think teaches a similar lesson
to make fire
about self-acceptance and of courage, but does it without without sacrificing or throwing Chihiro, in my opinion, throwing Chihiro's femininity under the bus. And that's if we wrote the story with the idea in mind that Chihiro is a trans woman. And so I will now, you know, retell kind of the story in a way that I think gives like the same, or at the best, or if not the same to you, a very similar lesson, while removing the femininity as a weakness. And allowing Chihiro to be stronger. So here's the story that I wrote. Chihiro, as a child, was bullied for being effeminate. They decided to live their life as a girl, as it allowed them to hide from their bullies. Monokuma threatens to reveal the students' secrets. Chihiro, upon seeing the strength Mundo possesses, not physical strength, but the strength to unapologetically be themselves no matter what others think, confides in him that she was born as a boy, but has come to accept her truth as a girl and plans to let Monokuma out her, because despite Monokuma saying Chihiro is a boy, Monokuma is wrong. She will not be afraid of what the others may think of her because of this, and she will be herself regardless. Mundo, upon seeing that Chihiro is able to face her past and not fear the judgment of others and still come out as themselves, ends up striking her down in rage because he can't accept that what happened to his brother was an accident, and fears of what will happen when the others find out his role in his brother's death. Once he calms down, Once he calms down, he accepts her as a girl and moves the crime to the girl's locker room to protect her identity as a woman. This makes it so Chihiro's bullies are wrong. The lesson shifts from having courage to accepting oneself instead of having courage to overcome one's like supposed weakness. And one's experience truly makes them strong. It also makes Mundo moving the crime scene better, as in the actual game he hides Chihiro's secret despite Chihiro wanting to not hide their secret anymore. So if he was doing it for honor, that feels weird because Chihiro wanted to reveal their secret in the original writing. So, but instead, in this version, by moving Chihiro's body to the women's locker room, he honors Chihiro for wanting to be seen as a woman, as being found dead in the men's locker room would make the other students see Chihiro as a man.
I suppose. I'm not sure how many points I want to give Mundo for planning something.
As I said, even the original, I was gonna say, even the original game,
well, he
kind of goes, it could be either or. He could be doing it just to hide his murder, or he could be doing it to honor, like, to be, you know, to honor Chihiro, or, you know, essentially try to respect Chihiro for what he did. But anyway, so another example of this trope that I feel like is useful to bring up here because I have similar feelings towards Chihiro that I did towards another character in Japanese fiction, which is Bridget from the Guilty Gear franchise, which is a fighting game franchise, where I always felt like Bridget should have been trans in like the older stuff. And eventually Bridget did come out as trans in like the most recent game, and her story was like, got better for it, and at least in my opinion. And I wish the Danganronpa creators would like retroactively like throw this as a bone and say that like had Chihiro survived, they would have come out or something. We're never gonna get it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna accept my headcanon as the better version of Chapter 2.
I mean, the problem is that, I mean, the series is dead, so, I mean, it would... I think it would feel very out of place if they did that.
Series is over, yeah.
As we will eventually find out.
I don't think it's dead, because if they wanted to create, if they wanted to do more, they could. It's just, they clearly made their intentions clear that they don't want to do more. And kind of brought it to an end. But yeah, so yeah, I do believe, the intended lesson from Chapter 2 is that, what the writers were trying to say with the lesson of Chapter 2 was having courage to face one's weakness, is good and admirable. But, like, they did it by having Chihiro's weakness be, like, what seemed to be his femininity. Like, there is an argument that I had with one other person, a friend of mine, where he didn't see the thing, the weakness Chihiro was trying to overcome as the effeminacy. It's just, I don't know, to me it is. But anyway, but if that's the case, then I feel like the narrative, while trying to push a good lesson of having courage to overcome one's weakness, has a bad lesson on top of it, where it teaches that masculinity is what men are supposed to have, and by going against that and having effeminate men or having non-standard gender roles and gender identities comes across as bad from that lesson. But yeah, and then I'm still curious, and no one has able to give me the full answer to this, because I just want to know where this trope / archetype started in Japan. Like, why?
I'm sure someone at TV Tropes University could probably eventually get an answer.
Like, why? How did this archetype of
you might just
very effeminate?
You might just want to TV Tropes this bitch, because I mean,
Fair enough. Let's go to TV Tropes right now.
They have TV Tropes for fucking everything.
And let's go to TV Tropes right now.
But one thing I did want to bring up in response to this, not as like a full disagreement, was the idea of claiming a character. And like this harkens back to my idea of that there is no every group of people, every class of people, there's no like official membership or representation of the group. So I think more in reference to like claiming, and I'm pretty sure that's not literally what you mean, is that...
No, I don't mean literal claiming, but that's what they refer to it, reclaim.
Is that more, it's not like literal like claiming, it's more just people within the group saw a story that resonated with them, and they shared it to other people who have the like mind, and it's like, I saw this and this, I think it's a good message, I think you'll get something out of it, and then eventually it spreads to more people of the group, and then that's kind of essentially what it is. A lot of people from the group like it, and they're like, yeah, we like this message, and we want to, I don't know if you want to say make it part of their identity, but, or I guess maybe just like make it common quote-unquote reading.
Right. So, at the end of the day, you know, when I say the trans community or the LGBT fans of Danganronpa seem to want to reclaim Chihiro, I don't mean like literally they're gonna be like Chihiro's this, and if anybody disagrees with me, fuck them. Which, sure, some of them will act like that, and that's just people on the internet. But what they mean is, yeah, as you're putting it, like this character heavily resonates with us and our story and our life experiences, and we want to hold up this character as like an icon for us because we don't have a lot of representation. And you know, that's just a very common thing in minority groups who don't have a lot of representation. They find characters that, you know, as I said, are what was the term I used in my own writing? Trans adjacent would be one way, but transcoded. So like a character that, like, while not literally is trans, has like a similar story to like the trans experience, and they'll take that character and like hold them up as an icon of, you know, essentially trans representation because it's closer than they get for most things. Another example of a character like this in recent media is the most recent Spider-Man animated Across the Spider-Verse, I want to say, is movie.
Is that the last one?
I want to say the last one's Across the Spider-Verse.
I mean, there's been so much animated Spider-Man because, you know, it gets for some reason Spider-Man gets a lot of kudos.
Yeah, but there's only been two of the animated movies of Spider-Man, and
Let's try this. Maybe this will work.
yes, Across the Spider-Verse was the second one.
Put a robe on it. Put
So
a ring on it.
Was Into the Spider-Verse. The second one was Across the Spider-Verse. And Across the Spider-Verse, we get Gwen Stacy's Spider-Woman. We get like a bunch of story around her and this like trouble where her father doesn't want anything to do with her once he finds out she's Spider-Woman, and like, you know, is mad at her for choosing to be Spider-Woman, and so she runs away to have like a found family.
She joins the Spider family.
She finds other people like her and finds a found family within those people, but eventually does make up with her father as he comes to terms of accepting her as Spider-Woman. And like she's got a Protect Trans Kids poster in her room, and her dad. It's hard to tell because the art style of this movie is very stylized, but there seems to be a flag on his uniform, his cop uniform, that looks like the trans flag. It's not the United States flag because they would have like the square for like, you know, the United States, but it's like a 3-bar flag or something. It looks like the trans flag is the point. It's been a while since I've seen that piece, but essentially there's like evidence that like might say that she's trans, but also could just mean that she's like a supporter of trans rights. So it's hard to say for sure. You know, they don't canonically say anything, but you have those elements to like help signify her. And a lot of her scenes, because of how, once again, how stylized the movie it is, a lot of her scenes use a very heavy color palette of pastel blue, pastel pink, and white, which are the colors on the trans flag. I will, however, put an asterisk on this and say, while it is the color of the trans flag, it just also happens to be the color from the comic books of Spider-Gwen, like Spider-Woman superhero costume. She has pink in it, she has white in it, she has black in it as well, but the black isn't really used all that much in this artistic style for that. And then the bottom of her shoes are this pastel blue. So she just happens to have those colors in her design, which might be why the designers chose to use those colors. But you do have these like heavily transcoded scenes of like having a parent accept you for being who you are, and like the shock of them finding out you're not who they are and feeling like they lost their daughter because she's not who, you know, they feel like they lost their child because their child isn't who they thought they were, which is like a common thing with LGBT and trans parents, is that, you know, when a kid comes out as trans to their parents, a lot of times there can be
I mean,
a
there's definitely
struggle
gonna be
of
some friction there.
yeah, but there can be a struggle even if the parents do want to accept the child's identity. There can be a struggle where the parent um the parent feels the parent feels they still like lost their son or their they feel like they lost their original child even though they didn't. Um, but yeah, so Gwen Stacy in the most recent Spider movie is very transcoded, and we'll have to wait and see because it definitely got a lot of media attention, both positive and negative, as right-wing people got mad. It was actually really interesting. So before the movie came out and we didn't know like what the narrative and the story was, people just pointed out like the poster that was in, because the poster is apparently seen in the background of one of the trailers, and people pointed out that
Could you use this to bash it open because of your tiny, weak arms?
but yeah, people
Oh, what did you pick up?
picked up the pipe that you wanted her to bash it. Now she's going to bash it in. But like, so before the movie
Nice.
came out, people noticed.
Oh wait. I think I just remember. Oh, I just hit the pause button. I was like, I think I remember how to save the game.
Yeah, before the movie came out, people saw this in the background. I don't even think they knew whose room it was or anything like that. I think they just saw it in the background and like made point of it. And right wingers had a goddamn field day of Spider-Man's gone woke and all this shit. They were super mad. And other people were like, yeah, that's neat that they put that in there. And then the movie came out.
I found the creepy
And the right wingers got like stopped getting mad about the poster because they instead got mad about the trans community like holding the narrative of Gwen as a trans story and trans adjacent story. And they got really mad about that. And we're like, no, the character's not trans, blah, 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 blah. There's just a poster in the background. It's not that big of a deal. It's like, the poster wasn't that big of a deal. Why'd you make it a big deal before you knew what the story of the movie was?
Because that's how it always works.
So yeah, they just shifted what they were mad about and then claimed they were not mad about the thing that they first were mad about.
Walter Simpson.
Anyway, I'm struggling to find this trope on TV tropes because the name that we all know it by, the trope we all know it by is
it under like some other?
It's not an okay word to use because it's derogatory of trans people. But it's the name of the trope.
Huh. I found a dead body.
Okay, I might have found the trope. So they renamed the trope to "Dude looks like a lady." It looks like, or they just gathered all the different ones. So, whether it's due to gorgeous hair, delicate features, snazzy dressing, or fey nature, some boys get called little lady more often than they'd like. The opposite of lady looks like a dude. This trope involves the male character who, despite entirely identifying male, makes no effort to seem otherwise, are frequently mistaken for female by other characters. Not to be confused with wholesome
What the hell?
cross-dresser. Viewer gender confusion. It might be viewer gender confusion. Let's go to that one. Because viewer gender confusion is when you, the player, mistake a character's gender despite the characters in the story not necessarily struggling with it. Now, I feel like there's always one character that gets it. Like, I feel like the haiku thing, like, I feel like Naruto's the only one that fucks that up, right? And so, like, maybe he's supposed to be the audience surrogate for that, but anyway, I'm gonna keep looking here.
Well, at least I found something interesting before the episode ended.
Okay, here's a trope name that is in Japanese, and that might be the trope.
The trope is definitely not murder.
And transgender is on this. Because it's, yeah, not to be confused with. And then androgynous,
or ambiguous gender, which I do feel like some of the characters I'm thinking of are the ambiguous gender, where because there's a character, one of the characters that comes to my mind for the trope that's on my brain is from Comey Can't Communicate, who is a character that like never actually reveals their gender. So like the other characters around them are constantly confused whether or not this character is a girl or a boy.
Too bad we didn't take that pipe with us. We might be able to... Oh, wait, I was actually in that room already.
Well, no, because they have examples and
Oh, the obvious examples.
they have examples listed. They have examples listed, and if I just scroll down through the examples, I might eventually find like one of the characters I'm thinking of. But it looks like I'm not seeing them yet, because they do. One thing that's nice about TV tropes is when they break down their examples, they do break it down by which version, like what kind of media they come from. So like you can hit anime and it'll pull up all the examples in anime. And so I just gotta like scroll through the anime examples until I find the character that I'm thinking of. Or like characters that I'm thinking of.
Maybe I can use this rope to get that thing.
Interestingly enough, I have not found the characters I hold up in my brain as like the examples on this page. Oh no, Haku! Haku is on this one. So Haku's on the list for the trope that his dude looks like a lady. Anyway, Haku looks feminine to the point that the main character is left in shock when he learns that Haiku is actually a boy. And then it has which it then links to the trope of unsettling gender reveal.
It wasn't that unsettling.
I mean, I think
it was unsettling because Naruto's a moron.
I think the unsettling part of it comes from the fact that it's kind of an outdated joke. I think that's the unsettling, because it's played for a joke and it's unsettling to the modern day like sensibilities.
Why did this guy own so many naked statues that were all the same statue? Dude needs to have better taste and not own 5 copies of the same statue. Could you get a move on, Laura Simpson, please? I know you're a dope, but come on.
Say one of the ones that keeps coming up on this list for examples is characters from other stuff, or from like lead characters from other anime when they have to do something or just happen to look like super effeminate, but like in no way, shape, or form are considered effeminate. They just instead just kind of like eventually get pointed out to be feminine, or like stated to be feminine. Yeah, okay, so Astolfo was not on that list, which is like I
this room is just a rat murder place. Okay, so yeah, I probably shouldn't. Wait, that's a crow? There's a key in the dead crow?
Okay, here we go. A popular Asian character type, the Bishonen, or beautiful boy, is a male character that possesses androgynous or feminine physical traits. He is usually tall, slender, with almost no fat and little to no muscle, and no body or facial hair. Largely expressive eyes are almost a given. Another trope are also common in more serious examples. In anime, many Bishonen have female voice actors, although those that don't still instead get startlingly deep sexual voices. It is not uncommon for those that are the more feminine end to be mistaken for women by other characters. or for savvier examples of this type to take advantage of such an assumption. Bishonen can be found equally distributed between heroes and villains. Bishonen villains often developed feelings among fans, or devoted followings among fans. Bishonens with white hair are almost always villains, no matter how they initially seem. The broader equivalent to this trope would be Pretty Boy, which covers similar territory in terms of raw attractiveness, but can be older and doesn't necessarily cross any androgynous lines. Indeed, the pretty boy is often an accusation of being too attentive to their own appearance, whereas Bishonen just rolls out of bed looking like they do. In the English fandom, the term Bishonen simply connotes a really, really attractive male, but in its original uses, it
Do you know the Moonlight Sonata, Laura?
I know the Moonlight Sonata.
Unfortunately, this is now happening.
The cutoff for Bishonen is strict sense is around 20 years old. Beyond this age, the Japanese description male attractiveness through terms of Bishinen. Affectionate English fandom shorthand. Bishi bypasses the lexical issues somewhat.
I have never heard that word before.
I mean, I've never heard Bishonen, so.
Bishi.
This might not be it. The appearance and behavior of the archetypical Bishonen is often used to explore sexuality and gender norms. Thus, guys in the yaoi genre have a tendency to be this. See, and that's where I think I might be in the wrong one, because this just sounds like twinks. And I bet you if I threw this word out at my roommate, he would know.
He'd be like, bitch, what did you just say to me?
No, because Bishonen's probably not it's not a bad word, I doubt, in this case.
You just said a bad word to me, your best friend.
I don't think it's a bad word. Anyway,
you just called me cuckface. No, I can't hide in the fridge, unfortunately. Laura, as small as she is, can't hide in fridge. Oh, perfect. I know exactly what to do now.
Ah, damn it. And then one of the other ones I clicked is just the same thing but for women. Masculine female characters who resemble pretty androgynous boys.
Or, you know, just Sakura. That's it.
No, Sakura's not this trope.
Sakura's totally that trope. She's all
no,
muscled to shit.
No. I will find you an example of this trope. These women of this trope that I'm reading right now, 100% if you walk past them, you might think of them as like you could very well think they're a guy. Like they're commonly referred to in the animes that I've seen them in as like princes or prince-like. Like the people commenting on their look refer to them and like compliment them in the form of comparing their appearance to a prince, even though they are a woman.
So not muscled to shit.
It's not muscles to shit. It's pretty androgynous, but they look like androgynous boys. So like you see femininity in them, and that, you know, they're very like well put together and stuff, but they still look like a boy.
Not like Laura here in her orphan dress. Because she's too much of a weenie to steal the one from the mannequin.
Yeah, I will. I know. I know
like,
examples
yeah,
of this one.
Yeah, that made no fucking sense. I think she's wearing like. I think she's somehow wearing like overalls too. And I don't even know how you wear overalls with a dress. What are those straps? I don't understand how you look. I keep coming back to this room. I've solved this room. Now I got a gold key that I don't know what to do with. I got a clue about finding a star. Oh, goddamn, I ran. Oh. I am never gonna be able to find that fucking phone. Phone! Wait, who are you? How are you here and fine? I'm not Jennifer. I'm Laura.
Maybe we're Jennifer. Maybe Laura's the other one.
Oh shit. Let's run away. Well, that's not gonna help.
I mean, it turned her to stone somehow.
What just happened?
Or-
What?
I think the game got confused. I think the game got confused because the two things overlapped at the same time.
Okay, how far back are we going? On the road, book it! Jeez, how far back am I? I'm in the mannequin room. I thought I save stayed a lot later than this. Maybe I took a side path back to the... Or I'm here now. Which is not the place to be, because now murders are gonna happen here. Okay, so I gotta keep this place in mind. I gotta get back here. The hallway of curtains. To think in just 4 years, Capcom would vastly improve on how these games are supposed to work.
Well, that's interesting. I just found a trope, that I bet you, as I scroll through the examples of this character, I bet you I find Chihiro in this as an example. Because of something that got said at the end of this.
Oh, for the love of fucking Christ. Okay, you've defeated him. Congratulations. I don't even know how you defeated him, considering you had no health. At least now I know where to go. I think we're gonna do the gold.
Hey, Haku's on this list again. At this trope. Different trope.
Naruto was a lot of people's childhoods.
I mean, my point is I'm on a different trope because I'm trying to find like the exact trope.
This guy just does not understand how Sheldon.
I'm currently looking at a trope called wholesome crossdresser.
Wholesome crossdresser?
Yeah.
As opposed to evil?
I think it's creepy. It's the opposite of this trait. So essentially, think of the bad drag queen slash like trans representation where like man in drag and like very clearly in man in drag. No, more like acts inappropriately or very like, you know, sexually perverse. You know, they're very creepy and kind of like force themselves onto other people.
Which is just rape.
Typically straight men, right? Well, I mean, not in like a literal rape sense, but like more like the straight man is clearly like
not wanting to do anything with them, and they won't seem to let the straight man go. That's probably the creepy cross-dresser trope. It is a bad trope in the sense that it gives people the wrong idea of what,
Wait,
essentially trans or
how does that work?
Drag queens are.
Drag queens are just people.
I mean, drag queens are super nice.
Yeah, let's drink it. That'll probably be fine. Is there a key in it? Oh, come on!
Okay, I
was joking!
So I think one of the reasons why I can't find a like hard set trope for this is because these characters fall under a bunch of different tropes. Because now I found one that's called raised as the opposite gender, and I know characters that fit into that. Chihiro might actually be in that because of the young age and the fact that they've lived most of their life.
Well, Chihiro is also very young.
I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, they are very young in the story, but my point is they have basically lived their entire life as a woman up to that point.
Yeah.
As I clicked through these and found different versions of these of cross-dressing tropes, I eventually found a page on tvtropes.com that's called Trans Audience. That's called Trans Audience Interpretation, which is transgender characters are a rare topic in media, be it due to the creator's personal biases. Not in the current day. Turn on the news, Jeff. They are not a rare topic right now. Trans people are being talked about all the fucking time. As they're the political scapegoat the right's using right now.
Yeah, people need to fucking worry about things that actually affect more than 1% of the population.
If the right is to be believed, the transes are coming after your kids, which is not fucking true at all.
I mean, it's kind of hard to say you shouldn't believe in that because it's so obvious, and if someone's that dumb to believe that...
Oh, but a large number of people are that dumb because...
then they're probably believing in other conspiracy theories that...
That's also true. So the reason this particular
I need to play the Moonlight Sonata without being molested by knives.
One of the reasons for this particular like misinformation being spread by the right is effective with certain groups of people is because
it's easily explained.
Trans people are very rare in certain communities and area to the point where people don't actually even know what a trans person is, like in like a good sense. They just have like a very vague sense of what a trans person is, so then it becomes very easy to like convince these people. So like the rural people from back where we're from are more easily duped than like people in the cities here, because in the cities here, it's more common to come across trans people. If I go to the bars with my friends, I can guarantee you I'll probably see a trans person at some point during the night. And like that's just a common thing. But because rural communities can be hostile towards trans people, trans people don't live there, thus a lot of rural people don't know what a trans person even is or does, or like how it even works, or what it even looks like,
pick up the
or like what even the process is. And that's when you can convince them that certain surgeries are happening on children who don't know any better, which isn't true, by the way. No child is going under the knife for gender confirming surgeries in the United States and in basically every country in the world.
Well, it's also completely
not happening.
Well, it's also completely ridiculous because like children do surgeries for the dumb shit that children get into. Like,
well, yeah, I mean,
children fall off of shit because they're dumb.
Well, I was gonna say the other example that I've seen. I was gonna say the other example I've seen is teenage girls can get boob jobs.
I mean,
Like, teenage girls can get boob jobs, and people don't seem to take issue with that. But if a trans girl wants to get a boob job, then suddenly there's issue if she's too young.
I'd probably have something to say about that. You're too fucking young, lady. Wait
I mean,
until you're an adult,
I agree.
at least.
I agree that a teenage cis girl shouldn't be getting a boob job. I also don't think a trans girl needs to be getting a boob job. So to clarify for any viewers watching this video who might not know it,
The fuck was that?
I think I've told Jeff before, so I think Jeff does know. In the United States, this is what happens if you are below the age of 18 and think you're trans or whatever. You go to a therapist. You spend a good chunk of time talking to a therapist. Once you spend a good chunk of time talking to a therapist, if you, the therapist, and your like doctors and stuff think they were like, yeah, we're pretty sure you're trans, then you get put on puberty blockers until you're 18.
And puberty blockers don't really. Yeah, they're not dangerous. They're not even like.
They're not dangerous.
Not even. What am I? Radical. They're not radical.
No. So what they do is they just keep the effects of puberty from happening in your body. The second you go off of them for like after a few weeks or so of not taking them anymore, your body will naturally start to go through puberty. No matter if you're 25 at the time or 30 or whatever, your body will go through the puberty of your assigned at birth gender if you go off of the puberty blockers. So that's it. That's all the medical stuff that's happening for children who identify as trans. As people below 18 who identify as trans in the United States. That's it. Puberty blockers. That's it. I think in some very specific cases where there's like a lot of years of them identifying as trans, they can start the hormones therapy at like maybe 16 or 17, but you have to have a lot of years of like proof and stuff to start it that early if you're below the age of 18. And that is, and I don't know if that is in the United States. It is in other countries, but I don't know if that is in the United States.
What the fuck is that?
Some sort of slime monster.
Just some red shit.
But yeah, so that is all that's happening for kids. Meanwhile, different states have it different for, I mean, technically different states have it different for the child stuff now because Republicans are being stupid. Which is why our state has a, refuge law, I guess? I'm trying to think. I feel like refuge isn't the right word. But essentially,
it's the idea.
Yeah. So if a let's say you and your parents, you're trans youth, and you guys live in Texas, and you want to seek gender affirming care for your child. Texas has it now where they can try the parents of the kid and take the kid away from the family for doing what all the major medical groups recommend. But if you come to Minnesota and like move to Minnesota to get that care, and Texas authorities come running to get after you, we will essentially just give Texas the middle finger and say fuck you. We have laws in our book that says we will not give other states people that they think are breaking their bullshit trans laws, and that they can come here and have their care. Another example of how this could work is divorced parents of a kid that's trans, one parent's accepting of it, the doctors all agree that transition will be healthiest for the kid, and everything, and to start the puberty blockers and to like socially transition. Socially transition just means to like wear women's clothing or wear men's clothing, like the clothing opposite of what your gender assigned at birth would have been. That kind of stuff. Let's say one parent and all the doctors is okay with that, and that one parent has custody, or at least majority custody. And legally they can do that. If the other parent disagrees and starts trying to come after the other parent, if the parent and the child are in Minnesota, we once again say fuck you. We're not expediting your wife, your ex-wife, and your child because your wife is doing what the doctors thinks is good and what your child wants. But yeah, anyway, back to because that came from the phrase
Well, we probably
trans characters
should.
not being open, like because of standards in the region, not trans characters aren't common
We probably should find a
in
way
mainstream
to.
media.
We should probably get some conclusionary thoughts because I'm.
I mean, that is we already are kind of done with the Chihiro one. I think we said our
Yeah.
stuff. I just can't find the exact trope, so.
I think I'm ready to call this first look into Clock Tower. I don't know. I kind of like this game. It's a bit obtuse. It's definitely retro, but I think for a SNES game, this is a pretty.
And say I haven't been
Pretty
paying
inventive.
attention to the majority of the game because I went down the rabbit hole of different discussion topics, mostly this discussion
I mean,
topic. So
that's fair. Outside of finding Miss Mary in that room, we haven't really been doing anything, and also banging on a piano. So, yeah, I think next time I'm probably just gonna restart this game from zero, and we'll just do a walkthrough run. We'll get through the game in an episode, and then we'll have experienced an old relic of the survival horror genre. So yeah, thanks for joining us on finishing Undertale, and the people who wanted that LP have been satisfied. So we move on to this, and we'll just keep doing what we're doing, just doing random games that sound interesting. Friday is going to be Persona 5 this week, so that's going to be in a couple days.
Si, senor. And we will continue with Madarame, as we just started meeting him and his protege, Yusuke. Don't be confused with the fact that there are two U's in Yusuke. It is presumably, at least in the English voice over of the game, it's pronounced Yusuke, and I've never heard anybody else pronounce it anything else. Or at least people like big fans of it who might get like overly anal over like if the translation pronounces it wrong and the Japanese has it right.
Well,
They might,
fuck
you know, those kind of
They
peoples,
said it
but-
that's the official translation. That's what it is. Shut
Yeah,
up.
but anyway, so the reason I bring it up is because when we first met him, you said Yusuke, like you pronounced each vowel in it.
Yeah, because I tend to see that in Japan where they're like
Which is
they'll,
true,
they'll
yeah.
like hit every vowel they can.
Yeah, which is true. One of the things that my roommate was teaching me the other day about Japanese pronunciation of names when I was playing Persona 3 is that Japan pronounces every syllable but doesn't stress any syllable over any other syllable. Which is hard for us to do
Yeah.
in English because every word has one syllable that is stressed over the other. We don't have much, if any, words that have like all the syllables equally stressed. So like Makoto is Makoto, like boom boom boom, like you should just see each one with the same amount of stuff. Ryuji, which like there I already screwed it up because I stressed Ri and Ryuji.
No, I was completely wrong.
I mean, it is pronounced Ryuji. It's just I'm stressing Ryu. I'm stressing the Ri on Ryu more than.
Ryujis. Yeah, I was kind of impressed with myself they were able to finish Undertale so freaking fast.
Yeah, I think it was it one go? I think it might have been one go.
I think I might have been able to scrape it through in one shot.
Yeah, I think it was one go.
But yeah, I didn't say it before, but I did make it through that penultimate attack twice before in practice. So I did manage to deal with the laser wheel before we started, but like I said, I didn't want to guarantee anything
Yeah,
because
that was the big final attack I was talking about. That's no joke.
Because you said that the special attack was the big ultimate deal.
Yeah,
Or
I
at least-
forgot that the special attack is literally him doing nothing, and that the attack before the special attack is what comes across as an actual special attack. So my bad, I forgot a detail.
You led me down the wrong path, and now here we are.
Hey, the game's snowing.
Oh yeah, that's apparently what the emulator does when I'm it's not active.
Oh, interesting.
I was actually thinking about getting to my spinny wheel just in case clock tower ends up being really short too, and I'll have to. Maybe it would
Sure.
make sense to prep something else just in case.
Sure. Maybe I'll spin my wheel in case we finish Persona 5 Royal.
That's not gonna happen for a whole year.
We are not very far into that game.
Well, I spun my
We've
wheel.
put 12 hours in it, or we've put 18 hours into it apparently in total so far. However, I feel like we're going through it slower because we're stopping to make decisions and discuss things and other stuff. So those 18 hours aren't, 2/5.
Equivalent.
Like it's not 1/5 of the game. It's
Well, we just
I
got
don't-
through
I don't
chapter
think we're a
1,
fifth of
and
the
there
game.
might be like 12 chapters.
There's 7 chapters, I think.
Okay, so not that bad. Especially if we get
There's-
into Mementos
I have to
a
count the
bunch.
dungeons. There's the first dungeon, then there's the second dungeon, because the dungeons are each the chapters. First dungeon, second dungeon, third dungeon, fourth dungeon, fifth dungeon. So in the original game, there are 8 dungeons. In the original game, this one probably has at least one more dungeon, if not more. So in base 5, there are 8 dungeons you have to do to finish the story, and then optional content and all the
and
free
that
days
stuff
and
too.
stuff. So yeah, I counted 8 off the top of my head quick.
I really do want to get the next game on PC, but that is a hefty price tag.
And yeah, I'm pretty sure basically every chapter we get a new party member until we have them all, which is towards the end.
And I'm definitely looking forward to figuring out who the hell Robin Hood is gonna be, just because it, like, even as a silhouette, it looks kind of silly.
We have seen them in the background already. They have been in the background.
And
As I said, I think all of the party members have shown up on screen at least once now.
And you are sticking up for this Makoto Yoshikazawa person, and I want to believe you, but it hasn't been a good first showing. I'm not.
I mean, all she's doing right now is investigating us. Anyway, her name is Makoto Nijima. Because you got her last name completely wrong.
Isn't someone like Yoshi something because they don't even?
Yes, that's the red-haired girl.
Yeah,
That's the
that lady.
underclassman. I'm not upselling her. The girl
You're not?
I've been calling best girl is Makoto, the girl that's a year older than us and is the student council president. That's the
Oh,
girl
her.
I've been calling the best girl.
The
I
one
don't
who's-
know much about the underclassman girl because she's new to Royal. I
one
just
who's-
know we have to do her social link to get the good ending, or like the full ending.
So the lady who's slanted against us because she wants the credentials.
Which one? What? Credentials.
She's got her principal deal to look good for her future.
Yeah, the principal. We'll
Kingpin.
see more of it because yes, you have one interpretation of her right now. Because yes, you can see it as she's greedily going after that prince. Like she's willing to throw us under the bus to get that recommendation or to look good for the principal, right? That's what you're thinking. It sounds like.
Well, that's because that's what the president said, and she's like doing it.
That's not what she said.
Well, what is
That's
she doing?
what the principal said. The principal said that she should do this and blah blah blah, and she is doing it. However, there are other reasons for her to do it.
I can't imagine what motive she has.
Pressure.
Really?
I mean, yeah, to be the top, to be the good girl, to be what people want her to be. Pressure. And that is why she's doing it. Remember that the theme of this game is rebellion, and all of our party members are rebels against society. So if she's a party member, she will in some way have to be rebellious against society. And she is yet to do that, but, she's eventually going to have to, fight back against the, pressures of being Miss Perfect.
And eventually, this is somehow going to twist into
'Cause
them
remember-
being super criminals.
Yeah, and then because remember that her older sister, it's already been stated now. Her older sister is the
College person?
not college
Trophy
person.
case?
She's no. The older sister of Makoto's the attorney. That's like questioning
Oh,
us.
yeah, the last
So she has a high standard to live up to, right? Her older sister is this big, very famous for how young she was when she got into this prestigious position person. She has big shoes she has to follow in.
She's so prestigious being a rubbish prosecutor who believes in
yeah.
magic.
Because we've met Sai Nijima, and it's been stated that Makoto is her younger sister.
Yeah. So yeah, that's another episode in the books, and hopefully you got something out of the podcasting, because this was a very bumbling attempt at playing Clock Tower. Again, I'm surprised that this did not come to America
Oh, interesting.
officially. Don't worry, I'll credit whoever did the work on this next time. But yeah, Friday, Wednesday, Saturday. Those are our next 3 episodes.
Oh, actually, I can't. I might not be able to do next Wednesday. It depends on what time I get back.
Okay, well, we'll keep that in flux for now, and we'll get back to you this weekend. Pay attention, damn it.
Glad I remembered that.
Well, I hope you guys have a good week out there in whatever land and whatever time you're watching this. We are going to, just call it a night.
Short stream.
And we are out.